Hello. Hello and welcome. Hello.
Are we live? Are we on this?
We are, and we're showing the wrong screen, so, you know.
Are we live?
We are. That's cool. Hey, everybody. That's cool. So you're getting a major echo, or you're just letting us know you're here, Robert? So you're getting a major echo, or you're just letting us know you're here, Robert? I see Caleb and Lauren Watts here. Hello, Caleb and Lauren Watts. Hello, Robert. There's an echo from both of us. All right.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I think I know what it is. Echo from both of us. All right. What about now? Yeah, I think I know what it is. Let's see if that worked. I mean, that YouTube thumbnail was peak YouTube. Yeah, better. Yeah. I think I need to make a couple more audio changes to make sure we can both hear us, but also hear our cool sound effects that we have. So let's swap over here to this talking head screen here. Okay, yeah. So we got live from Flora, Mississippi. Micah, where is Flora? If my hand was Mississippi, where is Flora? Just show your hand. Do your hand. It's like where your ring finger is. Okay, a little bit lower. All right. That's where we met each other for the first time. If you can just kind of keep talking and entertaining people while I click things. I didn't do anything. No, I can hear you. It should. Oh, I know why. I know why. Yeah, you should be back now. Yeah, you have. All right. Thanks, chat. You are. Oh wait. I shouldn't have confirmed. Let's wait to hear back from Robert or Phil. Cool last name, Mr. Rayner. I don't know. Keep talking and let's see if people respond. We have like a 7-second delay, unfortunately, between chat and video. One of the downsides of still nothing. That's very odd because I can hear you just fine. Oh, man. We tested all this before we got on. I didn't even do anything, by the way. So I didn't change. No, I didn't click anything.
Didn't press anything, I don't think.
So
you wouldn't be able to hear me still.
Yeah. Right.
Once you stop the echo, he got
muted. Yep. Okay. Okay. I think I know what I need to do.
There. Oh, am I back? Wait.
Now he's back. But do you have an echo? I think I know what I need to do.
I have volume now. There. Oh, am I back? Wait.
Now he's back.
I don't hear myself echoing, but we could let chat confirm.
Right.
I don't hear myself echoing. Do we sound halfway normal? Could let chat confirm.
Right. Or are we in a giant great room?
Do we sound halfway normal? It's a special effect, you know. It's to
You used to have to pay for special effects.
the sheer volume of the container we're in.
I'm just saying that generally. You know, you're like, hey, I want some cool sound thing, and you have to pay for that. Or steal it.
I have a voice that
Echoes back. Okay,
Goodness.
what about now? Micah can't hear me, I'm sure. But you can hear me.
Let's see here.
What about now? Micah can't hear me, I'm sure. I'm just gonna get frustrated here.
Now you're muted.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Now you're muted.
Do either of you have sound playing out loud? No, I do not. I've got the headphones on. I have sound playing out loud. No, I do not. So there's no echo, but Micah can't hear me. And so I think what's happening.
Yeah, no, I'm in through my headphones with everything else muted.
Micah can't hear me.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
I think
I'm gonna
what's
try
happening.
one more thing.
I'm in through my
Can-
headphones with everything else.
Are we both echoing? That's the thing that I am not sure of. Considering the whole point of this is that we were going to sounds good now for us. And Micah, you can hear
Oh.
me, right?
I can.
Yeah. Okay. I think I
Good
I think I
job.
figured it out.
I can.
I really hope. All right. So I don't need to do whatever we were going to do there. We've got a lot planned tonight because you good folks voted on what you wanted us to talk about.
Yep.
Do videos on and whatnot. And I will say there was a plan to make kind of like a scripted video, but y'all have been going crazy on the crowdfunding, which has definitely been amazing, but has kept us busier. So we decided to cram it all in together in a live stream, and then later we can cut up the various parts if that makes sense.
Yep.
Which it may not.
And this is way more fun than trying to create a video and edit it. Yep.
We
And
both
this is way more
need
fun than trying
volume
to create a
and
video. A little bit more
yes.
volume.
Now I am looking at my levels, and if I go too much, tell you what, how about that? Let's go. Let's keep coming up here, and too much. Tell you what, how about that? Let's go. Let's keep coming up here. All right. Hello, Mint. It's difficult to say hello to Hello, Mint. Let's go. Perfect.
Nice. Okay, good.
Thank you. Hello, Mint.
I was gonna
It's
finish
difficult to say hello
say
to
what I was going to
hello
say to
to
Robert
hello.
real quick, and we can dive in.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
so basically
Hello,
on
Robert.
the solo side, what you're looking at is a similar setup to the two-player setup. Yeah, so basically on the solo side, what you're looking at is a similar setup to the two-player setup. I will try to slowly go through this. Basically, Micah's not as bad. Looking at a similar setup to the two-player I will try to slowly go through this. Is your mic so good that it picks me up through your headphones into the
That would be
microphone?
crazy.
I will try to
I mean,
slowly
it's
go
possible. I
through.
can turn my headphones completely off so that way I don't have to hear myself. All right, let's try that. I can turn my headphones. See if that works so that way I don't have to.
Yeah, and so
hear
Robert, you'll
myself.
basically
All right, let's try
you'll
that.
pick the faction
See
house
if
that you
that
want.
works so that way I don't have to.
Do all your starting upgrades, and then you'll pick basically a second or support house. You don't actually play the support house, but it increases your fate or fortune die abilities. Gives you a little bit of an extra damage and utility boost, so that whenever it comes to facing pirate lords and Davies in the end, you're a little bit more stout than you would be if you were playing like a two-player game. And so it's kind of neat because you can create different hybridizations of certain faction houses and kind of use those abilities, and especially when you get to the pirate lords, hybridizations it's really, really good. Certain faction houses. So I'm still echoing pretty badly. Pirate lords, hybridizations it's really, really good. Certain faction houses. I'm still echoing pretty
You
badly.
know,
Pirate lords. Yep, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Yep, I can hear you. I can hear you. Can you hear me? Yeah, you're popping up. You're lighting up for me. Can you hear me? Yeah, you're popping up. You're lighting up for me. Can you hear me? Yeah, you're popping up. You're lighting up for me. Can you hear me?
Okay, now you should
Oh,
be able to hear me.
oh, that's nice. Okay, great.
All right, and Micah,
Okay,
I
now
can
you
see
should be able to hear
your
me.
stuff playing. So
Oh, that's nice. Okay, great.
very cool.
Might
All right, and Micah,
might
I
figure
can
this out
see
yet.
your
Like
stuff
we logged
playing.
on and played
So
with this for like 30 minutes earlier
very
today, and
cool.
we're
You know
we're
what?
good. Might figure this out yet. Like we logged on and played with this for like 30 minutes earlier today, and we're
Let's
good. Might figure this out yet.
stop
Like we
talking for
logged
half
on
a
and played
second.
with this for like 30 minutes earlier
I
today,
think
and
I figured it
we're
out.
good.
This is
Might
so
figure this out
silly.
yet.
Stop
Like we
talking
logged
for
on
such
and played with
a
this.
stupid noob move.
Can I
Okay,
guess?
Micah,
Can
can
I
you hear
guess?
me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can I guess?
Yeah. Okay, I am the biggest dummy in the world. Okay. Okay, everything seems fine now, right?
Did you have YouTube on?
It was too many things. It was ignominious beginning to our finale stream. We've had 28 days of utter insanity. I'm good now. Mike is good now. Goat Sidekick says first boss is defeated. But, ow! No! I've done nothing.
Maybe it was just the thing a little while ago. Am I still silenced? Am I able to be heard?
Mike is super quiet. All right, I gotta
Here,
wait. No, I
can
got.
turn me.
Yeah.
Okay, you gonna turn me up? All right.
Turn me up,
Turn me up,
Maurice.
love. Turn me up every day. You guys ever hear a phrase and then you're like immediately singing a song that it reminded you of? It happens to me constantly. Yay! Awesome. Okay, let's get into it.
Oh, perfect. Okay. Awesome. Okay. Stream
Reset.
starts now. That's exactly right. I don't know if you guys watched Paula Dimming and Bonzinator stream our game, but it took them like 45 minutes, so I feel so much better knowing that literal professionals, people who are paid to do these things and do it a lot in their lives, struggle with this. I shouldn't revel in their struggles, but it makes me feel better for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It was kind of awesome.
Yes, time starts now. Yeah, so just in terms of the solo mode, kind of adding onto that, you kind of what we wanted to make sure that we did, and I don't know if a lot of you are hardcore solo mode players or not, but is to make sure that it wasn't just faking a two-player experience,
Right.
by just being like, oh, you control two ships, which is viable. Like if you want to play as two ships, you can. You know, it's okay. But was to actually add like a strategic element to it, and so you choose kind of like your core ship, which determines your upgrades, and you know, starting everything. And then you pick kind of like a support faction. So you don't actually play a second faction, you don't play a second ship, but you have access to a wider variety of abilities, and you get a couple of kind of buffs just to keep it smooth. And so it's more tweaks to kind of accommodate that it's just one ship.
Yep.
So we should definitely do a like a stream or recording or a playthrough of that.
For sure.
Yeah, it's interesting. You know, all the feedback that we got before, because we didn't outright design it as a solo game. And, you know, I don't know if you guys have ever tried to sort of make a board game or not, but there's just so many people, not you guys, but like other designers or things like that tell you you have to do this or you have to do that. And, you know, we try and be rational and reasonable and listen to people. One of them is like, you got to have a solo mode. We felt that it was important, given our experience as playing games, is that we make the game work for the best number of players. You know, it's kind of like we get questions around 5-player. You can totally play 5-player. I think even a couple folks have kind of speculated some different things to do that, some house rules, and I think it's valid. It's not like we didn't want to put it on the box as 5-player just because it's possible, whenever in fact, you know, if you're like me, when you go to play a game, if it's like best with 3, I want to play with 3 unless I don't have 3, and then I'll kind of make it work in other places. In terms of a 5th player, we definitely have some ways of, I think, improving that experience, and we've got that on the backlog for the future. And maybe it's just, you know, release some of that stuff as just an addendum for anyone who wants to do it. So there are some quote unquote official rules. Some folks really like official rules.
Sure.
But there's also... Go ahead.
Or I was going to say, if you've got that one friend that really likes to ruin your good time with good dice rolls, you can just have them, you know, roll for the merchants and the pirate lords and Davies, and they could enjoy trying to beat you all at your game.
Yeah. So there you go. That's Micah's particular favorite flavor, is like the DM. You know, you play as the dungeon master who's kind of controlling it in other ways. But either way, yeah, we should do a solo playthrough. I'm right there with you, Robert. I've played most of the board games, and I'm a big card game player. I, more often than not, am sitting at my own kitchen table, playing one side, trying to, standing up, moving to the other side, blanking my mind like I'm this new person, and trying to not, imagine that I don't have the information in front of me.
I don't know what I know.
I don't know what how would I
do that I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, so Tabletopia is doing the cool thing where, since I set up the cameras, it's just kind of rotating between them, which I actually think is pretty cool. So to orient everybody with the Tabletopia experience, if you haven't seen this before, the game is kind of set up exactly how we would kind of for a 4-player. We've condensed it down. It doesn't have to be this setup. It doesn't have to be Pirate Lords over here. Doesn't have to be Pirate Lords over here and Merchants over here and Davies up there. You can manipulate it to have it fit to your table in the way that you want it. In fact, one person who lives on a sailboat and wanted to play it on their sailboat, and they only had a 35 by 35 inch table.
So crazy to me.
Yeah, contacted us and was like, "Hey, I really want to play it. Will it fit?" And so I took a video. I taped out a 35 by 35 on my table, and I was like, "Here's how it can work. Will that work for you?" And he said the word, "Will it be comfortable?" And I was like, "There is no chance in the world. I'm going to assume what is comfortable on your amazing sailing vessel."
Right.
It's
pretty awesome though.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool sounding community. Like he talks about, he sails to places and then he hangs out, and then they get together. Like they'll go over to Jerry's boat today and hang out and have a good time, and then over to my boat tomorrow and that kind of thing. Man, that sounds
crazy. So
cool. Yeah, so let's actually we have a bit of a script here. We're gonna play through, but we're gonna fast forward if we need to, move around if we need to, because we've done a number of playthroughs. And Captain Ron. Yeah, I have weird memories of Captain Ron where I thought it was real life because it got mixed up in my brain. And I lived on an island as a kid, and I kind of mixed some scenes from Captain Ron with my own memories, and it was only later that I realized that That
What
was
the heck?
Kurt Russell.
Kurt Russell. Yeah, you're right. It's Kurt
Yeah,
Russell.
I was gonna say Kurt Douglas, but Kurt Russell. I was like, Kurt Russell was not in my childhood, unless my dad is on the stream. So, Dad, if Kurt Russell was hanging around on Tybee Island, let me know. Um, so
And
yeah,
we definitely want to answer any of y'all's questions that
yeah,
you have. Like,
yeah.
we look forward to interruptions, specifics, everything within reason, and maybe non-reasons on the table. So
Yeah, and you're not going to step on anybody's toes because, what I've seen in some of these things is people are like, oh, I don't want to take up all the time with my questions. I don't want to get in that. But by all means, do it. You make
yep.
everybody else kind of breathe a sigh of relief because then we're answering a real question instead of talking about Kurt Russell. All right. My father does not recall. Doesn't mean it didn't happen. Okay. So I will, one of the votes that people had was talk about kind of the art design process, and one of the things talking about table layout that I wanted to kind of point out is that there is kind of a concept to the basic table layout, which this isn't totally it, but it comes from the view that we're sitting here, if we're sitting on the side of the table, and we're looking out over the sea, and so we're kind of seeing far in the distance what the future holds for us. And so the biggest cards, we got Davies up here and his various aspects of his ship. He's way out on the horizon. He's also big, so it actually kind of works backwards to actual perspective. He's, but maybe he's just that big. And, close to you are the merchants. And so, pulling these merchants out. And so, in this case, it kind of works this way, but it almost forms like a pyramid in a way where you've got the merchants, and then as you look deeper into New Carribea, you see the pirate lords kind of beyond them, and then beyond that, you see Davies. And so right at the beginning of the game, you're sort of looking at what your path is going to be. It's kind of laid out in front of you. So while there is no bespoke way of orienting the game, like whatever works for you, so it can adapt to a 35-inch table or a round table or whatever.
Yep.
There is a kind of a method to the concept. And that deals a lot with like the physicality of the game space. So I come from working in video games for forever. Micah comes from working in fine art, a variety. Is it safe to say? Every time we talk about art, I always feel like I'm going to say the wrong thing. I'm going to be like, Micah works in fine art. And you'd be like, actually,
Dude, no.
all people are art, and art doesn't exist, and you are art. And I'll be like, you're right. That was very poignant.
Yeah, we're gonna dispel the gatekeeping right from the get-go.
Yeah,
no,
of course.
no, you can. Yeah, no, I am a fine artist by trade, but I'm also a graphic designer. But yeah, I make a lot of art, and yeah, we could get into the specifics with art with a lowercase a and an uppercase a and all that good stuff. But for the sake of this, we don't have to worry about that.
You can also pay Micah to teach you about art at his university, which I don't know. Either way, let's not cross the streams. So when coming to like a physical space, I saw a discussion the other day about to get the essence of what this game is about. I would say, I guess tortugasgames.com is probably the best place to get the essence. You're a pirate. You're in this fantastical world called New Carribea. A guy named John Davies is in charge. He's your boss, but he's a real buzzkill. And so you and your friends have decided to take him down so that you can restore your vision of what true piracy is, what the pirate life is.
Yep.
And you do that by starting with a small ship and a small crew, and you work together and you get a bigger ship, bigger cannons. The essence is ultimately about kind of like growth over time. So it's not an RPG in that traditional mechanic sense, but it certainly has the flow. Lee Kaiser II. If you have any more specific questions about that, please let us know. Mechanically, how you do that is you hunt the high seas, you defeat foes you take their plunder and their power, you add it to your own, which allows you to take on bigger foes, and eventually you get strong enough collectively to take on John Davies, who's the ultimate foe, and his ship, the Dead Drifter, which is like it's like an old school multi-phase boss. And so you have to take down each phase of the boss, but there's variability because, replayability and that kind of thing. So up to 3 different phases or it's technically 4 if you play a 4-player.
Right. And some people have referred to it as scenario cards, which I think is another decent name for it. You're facing a ship of many faces. He's absorbed the strengths of all of the um, uh, various faction houses and their myth and ethos, and kind of leverage that into this monstrous ship. And so it can do Caribbean, Cabal, Firebelly, Creatures of the Deep, and Blue Realm like things. And so you never quite know what phases you're going to face because of how you shuffle and stack the phases and the amount of players. So definitely soloable, but the co-op element is there. You're banding together as lowly upstarts. You are helping each other in battle. Every faction has a cooperative ability that they can leverage for one another. And when you go in to take on the pirate lords in particular, is when the heavy reliance on one another starts. You're strategizing, you're thinking about strengths and weaknesses of the pirate lords and their tactics, the way that you've built out your ship, what your strategy is like. Would it be effective against this pirate lord based on what you see that they want to do and what you're trying to do? And it's also a great synergistic thing because the faction houses work really well together in some very particularly cool ways. And so it could also be as simple as, Nick got the crap blasted out of him and he got sunk and had to go back to port. He's probably a round behind now. We need to help him. So I'm going to take him hunting because I'm awesome and my ship's amazing. And so we're going to go take out this pirate lord. Nick's going to come with me. That way we're going to share in the plunder and get more fortune dice. And so there's all kinds of different ways to think about leveraging that synergy and co-op aspect of what you're doing. Average play time first time through is a longer one because
probably
of the
2.5, 3 hours for 4 players to begin with.
Yeah.
And then after that,
about 2.5.
Yeah, it's probably it's about 30 minutes per player. And I wouldn't say it's a co-op game with a boss at the end. It's like I guess it's almost like, imagine like old school side-scrolling Final Fantasy games. You've got your party and you're taking on different roles and you're going to come up against this boss, and each of you is going to kind of contribute to ultimately taking it down. You're going to work together. There's a good bit more in terms of tactics, in terms of like movement and range and the types of attacks that you do than a Final Fantasy game, but that kind of thing.
For context, and I know it's not fair because Nick and I have played the game about 1 million times, but we will regularly do a 2-player game in about 45 minutes. And that's somewhat thinking about what we're doing. So it's definitely one of those things where it's like, oh man, it's a lot of pieces, that's a lot of dice, but you learn exactly how to play in its most basic form, round 1, and everything that you do in that first level through the end is the same sequence of events. And so the game teaches you early on exactly what you're going to be doing. And as you play it, you start to discover really what you can do through the synergy of the faction houses, all of the different plunder that you can get, the cannons you equip, the specialists you use, how you leverage your fortune dice. And so it's one of those things to where you can keep digging into the richness of it, especially if you like kind of some of that RPG feel where you're building a strategy, you're customizing your ship, you have a particular way you want to play or accomplish your goals. And then kind of learning what cards are available and out there to be able to use those types of things.
Yeah. Let's swap over to Goat Sidekick's question. Thanks for asking those, Lee. I know you got a couple more. We'll come back to them. Combo question. Do each of the factions have a home island depicted on the map? Is that... Micah, how would you, as the artist of the map, and I'm actually bringing up the map so we can zoom in here.
So I'm kind of bouncing back and forth between the YouTube stream and and the Tabletopia version.
Yep. So I'm now showing the map. Well, trying to show the map. There we go.
Man, I had so much fun making this. It's Nick and I's goal is. Oh, by the way, we've got books of stuff about this. It's been a work in progress and a passion of ours for about 10 years, and kind of made the conscious decision that there are certain things that we want to build out as a framework, but we're very, very interested in stories. And so, if technical, the difference between soft building and world building, soft building, world building, and hard world building, and just where we wanted to let you as the player have agency in the world, tell your story. It's even called a tale of New Carribea. So it's like this time period in the history of New Carribea. But long story short, yes, each of the major factions has a spot on the map, you could say, that is kind of their home base, and some of it is a little bit easier to tell than others, probably if you put two and two together. But yeah, and in case you're wondering, that is a kind of a 3/4 / profile shot of the dead drifter out there near the compass rose.
Should we zoom in? I mean, I don't even think I have the biggest one here.
Right.
And yeah, the detail that Micah put into this thing is wild. Every one of these illustrations is effectively like a full big old thing there. But yeah, so so I guess a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. There are things that are related to the factions. The factions don't necessarily, I'll go back to this. As Micah said, soft world building is the concept that the world arises out of sort of details. That's at least how we look at it, as opposed to hard world building, where you kind of actually establish ahead of time exactly what it is and you kind of build down, kind of top down. And so, I can't remember who said it, but it was a writer for a show, and they were talking about fan theories, and I loved this idea. They were like, it doesn't even matter if it's in my head until it happens, until it exists, until it's real. It's just a fan theory. So there's a lot that may be in our heads or that we've written and that kind of thing, but ultimately, whatever is happening in terms of the lore and whatnot, there's just what's there, and there's what you make of it, and we want to make sure that we leave as much kind of available as possible. To really build out the tale that you want to build. That's not to say that it's that there's nothing, and there's but that there's a lot that you can go in on there, and that certainly drives in the art that Micah develops or the mechanics that we build or these other things. Is like there are interrelationships as well, and they're there for the finding and inspecting, which I think is fun.
Yeah, I get so excited about like little details of things, and I mean some of it I may have forgotten by now, but like tying in bits of plunder, naming it certain things, having a historical anchor there, pun intended, to root it for people who can appreciate that sort of thing or understand that thing. And if you don't, it's not a big deal because it's still integrated into the game in a way that feels right, like it should live there. But whether it's naming stuff after friends and family, or using them as figurative references, or drawing directly from history, drawing actually physically from artifacts, warships, cannons, weaponry, any myriad of things you might find at a museum. It's all in there, and it's layer upon layer upon layer of stuff that was so fun to do. And it's a part of the experience that we wanted to give. It's not very practical. It takes way longer than most games in terms of development, but it's been something that's been really enjoyable to do.
Yeah. We have oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I think I was about to say what you were about to say.
Just in terms of the, I was just going to move to the next question, actually. So
Oh yeah, no, go ahead.
No. I completely interrupted you. I will say that if Micah wasn't a maker of the game and was just an artist that was being paid to do this work, he'd be retiring probably about now. Because how much work has been done on it, which is great. But yeah, so either way. Is it possible for a ship to be destroyed or taken out of play, or can you always recover? So I can't, it's not, it is possible for a ship to be sunk or defeated. You can be defeated, you can be sunk. There is a cost to that, but it doesn't remove you from gameplay. So the only way that the gameplay basically ends is in the confrontation with Davies. And so it's the ultimate kind of test of, has your journey been good enough or not? I will say, having played it, hundreds of times, when we play a hardcore run, because there are 3 different game modes that we include. There's kind of the standard, which is what we've traditionally streamed. There's a story mode, which is, hey, I just want to sort of check it out, have a good time. It's often a great way to kind of start to learn the game. And then hardcore kind of puts you to the test. I know by repetition of play that sometimes we may get into round 3 or 4 and we've made some dubious decisions and they didn't work out for us, and maybe it's just best to kind of start over. That's like hardcore run and trying to get achievements. But yeah, so you can be taken out, but we didn't want people to be sitting around while everyone else continues to have a good time.
Yeah, that's no fun.
Yeah.
And there's also, the idea of the synergy between the co-op elements of how the game plays, like thinking, I'm not, without getting off too much in the weeds about it. Yeah, you get sunk, you spend your next turn in port, you discard some of the awesome things that you've gotten, unfortunately, and you get your whole points reset. And so you're still in the game, you're just limping out of port again. And so it also creates an urgency then from your group. Okay, how can we help them? How can we take them on a hunt? Can we trade them things in port? Can we bolster them back up? Because ultimately that round timer is ticking, and there's an inevitability about what's coming, and you want everybody to be as strong as you possibly can. But yeah, it was a design decision for us. We didn't want someone to get knocked out and then that's it, and they're sitting there for the next 3 hours while y'all play and have a good time. And so there's always a way to come back.
But Micah, you said the game is 2.5 to 3 hours. So not the next 3 hours.
Yeah, it's true. Maybe you get sunk. Maybe you get sunk in round 1.
I'm just kidding.
Like, we've had people get sunk in round 1 because they're like, "Oh, that ship looks great. Let me go after that one." And we're like, especially on the blind play tests where you're just like, you sit in the corner and take notes and don't interfere at all. You're like, "Oh, they're going to go after the tier 3 in round 1." Yeah. Okay.
Well, all right. I guess from that, the game can operate as like a roguelike a little bit, in that you do learn as you play. And, it's not kind of that roguelike of, you like a campaign game where you get something and then you're going to take it into your next round. But you are taking your skills, learnings, and abilities. It's kind of like, well, I won't get into the various video games that I play that aren't roguelikes, but I treat them like roguelikes. But yeah, so yeah, let me get back to the questions because I keep wandering off. Story of the game's creation, how we met, biggest hurdle we faced. Why don't you start with the story, the creation? I'll hit how we met, and then we'll riff on biggest hurdle faced.
I mean, maybe. Do we start with how we met though? Because that's before.
Oh yeah, but it's one of those books that gives you the ending, and we're gonna memento you got there.
Okay. Yeah. So Nick and I play a ton of games, and we always have. And he was living in Baltimore at the time, and took a trip up there to see him with some friends. We had a grand old time. It was amazing. It was the 4th of July, and this was a little over a decade ago. And we're just doing what friends do after a long day of hanging out. We're hanging out in the kitchen, just chit-chatting about stuff, talking about games. And you always like have your favorite games and mechanics and themes and things. And And like you dream about, okay, if I made a game, I would do this, or I'd take these themes from this or this mechanic from that. And so I was just like, we should make a game. And Nick's like, what's it about? And I'm like, pirates. There was no hesitation. It was immediately all in. He's like, yeah, it is. And so that night we start thinking about, okay, well, how does it play? What would you do? What's the world like? We just started kind of building and fleshing all these things out. Had the mechanics relatively down, at least in loose form of a framework, pretty quickly. And then just started cranking out art and UI and design elements and started play testing. Nick had a bunch of stuff on index cards and loose leaf paper and working it in his kitchen. And he would call me up and be streaming or like show me what he's got. And it's like a table full of stuff with all these different cards and different labels and things. And so it's been a pretty incredible journey, because one of the things I like the most as a maker, like doing drawings, doing illustrations and things, is if I can feed off of other people's ideas. That way I'm not generating everything. And so he would do a lot of writing, and he would put things in a spreadsheet or text it to me or whatever it is. And like he would name something like, oh, this is Madame Josephine. And I'm like, who is Madame Josephine? What is that? And he's like, it's a cannon. And I'm like, that's sweet. Madame Josephine, what would that be? And like you just start drawing cannons and doing research and look. So like he's often providing like the flavor text and the context for the world, and I'm kind of trying to figure out how that can look and what that should be like, and iterating and creating multiple concepts and things. But yeah, so that's a little bit about how the game got started, and that was again over 10 years ago.
And how did we meet? I actually don't remember the moment of it, as is most. I guess there are some people you're like, I remember the second I met them. I started setting up. Before I answer this, we have Carribea Cabal over here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you guys what you want us to play. So there's asymmetry in terms of the different factions. Carribea Cabal, they're super shooty. I'll just say that. Firebelly, really tough. Creatures of the Deep are very fast, and Blue Realm is very good at boarding. So there's definitely more detail. We will add the color commentary there, but please vote on which ones you want us to play, and I will talk about it. So yeah, I left Florida to go to university in Mississippi, primarily because that's where I got the best scholarships. Not because I necessarily wanted to go there, and I tried to leave for an entire year, but then I met a guy named Micah and a guy named Steve Taylor, and they became my bestest friends in the world. And so, yeah, I mean, we played games together. I don't know, kind of, it just sort of happened as things do when you're younger. But where I think it really cemented it was I had a semester where I needed to get my scholarship back because I was having too much fun and dropped just below the GPA for those wonderful scholarships that I had worked hard for. And so I needed to take one class that I paid for out of pocket, and I needed a place to stay because I couldn't live in the dorms, that sort of thing. And somewhere we came up with the idea that I would illegally stay in their room for the semester. And so before everyone moved into the dorms, I don't condone this. It was not right. But we went up to the second floor and grabbed a random mattress off the bed and went back down to the first floor and shoved it under the bed and put blankets around it so that no one knew it was down there, and tried to stealthily. And so that semester of three, grown people living in like how big was that room? Like 15 by 20,
it was not very large,
maybe. Just really cemented a lot of bonds. Some people go into the Marines and, suffer and kind of through boot camp and do really hard things. We survived a semester in room. So that's how we met. In terms of the biggest hurdle we faced, it was probably just everything that wasn't the game. Like the game itself was a joy, and not that it wasn't hard and that there weren't challenges and things like that, but they were invigorating. But work, other life, just stuff that comes up. The biggest hurdle was getting the time. We knew that we would need to commit. Like we both knew that we weren't going to just be like, hey, let's throw it up and see if it works. Like let's see if it's okay. Neither of us are super okay with putting in less than maximum effort. And so, we pushed it off. Then COVID, since we're not, COVID was an issue. We were going to launch the game, but it was not a good time to launch it. And then we recovered and kind of moved forward and through all that stuff. And then after 16 years in the video game industry, I left the video game industry and I was like, let's do it now. I will say Micah was always more ready than I was to put the effort in. And I'm glad he pushed me because this has been phenomenal.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
Biggest hurdle externally. It's external stuff. The stuff that's internal is mostly about knowledge. There's so much to know about an entire video game, board game business, which if you're crowdfunding on your own with no publisher, you have to do absolutely everything, which I've been exposed to a lot of things, but fighting algorithms for advertising when you don't enjoy the concept of marketing, but it's the only way that people can find it. So yeah.
Rick asked, did you return the mattress? And I told him, yeah. But there may or may not be a table in my garage that came out of the dorm lobby. Also, did you know that, most of the time you can still just walk in there and get toilet paper if you need it. So I think for the first year we were in grad school and we lived in a house outside the dorm, we just go back to the dorm and get, which tells you how bad we're scraping by, because if any of y'all have ever used dorm toilet paper, it is worthless.
Yeah,
absolutely worthless.
We paid that school a lot of money. That was my justification at the time. What is the statute of limitations? Okay,
it's gotta be. Yeah, we're good. So they said they wanted to see anything but Firebelly and Blue Realm, and so I swapped it out.
Cool.
I'm gonna play Carribea Cabal again.
Yes, and
I want it.
Yeah, and so one thing that I want you to do, Micah, is I want you to use Inspiring Salute sometime in this game a lot. I want you to use it all over the place. I want you to get crazy with the Inspiring Salute.
Why would I not?
I don't know. I just want you to do that.
We want to talk through setup real quick? You've already done a lot of it.
Yeah. And you scan through the questions. Are we good behind? We can do both. I'll scan through while you talk about. I actually did set up.
Robert had a really cool question, and this is something that we're going to nail down in a much more accessible way, about achievements that we can accomplish and share with others in the community. That is absolutely on our list of priorities. That's such a cool thing that we wanted to do, and
it's the Book of Deeds.
Yeah, the Book of Deeds is its official name. So yes, that will be absolutely a part of what we do.
Yeah, and part of what we're actually getting now from people like yourselves are what some of those kind of achievements are. We've got like, for instance, there's some of them are silly, some of them are just difficult, and there's a lot that are in there, and you can track them both for your own game, but you can also share with the community. And we plan to, at a minimum, provide some rewards via Discord around some of those, so that you can wear your bling around. I don't know why I said bling, but
that's because we're old, Nick. That's an old word.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Continue with the setup there, and we will get started.
Yeah,
I mean, just
yeah.
just
So
describe the setup because I already set everything up while you were talking.
right, so you're picking your faction based on the number of players. You're laying out and showing the merchant cards. Two-player game. We've got 6 of them out there on the seas. Randomly shuffling through 12 unique pirate lords, drawing 4 randomly, putting them out in the field as well. Same thing with the Davies aspects, shuffling those. Two-player game gets 1, and so you have the card at the top. So you kind of know from the art what you're maybe going to get into, but you really have no idea until the tactics come out. And you're setting up the port board with 3 cannons from the normal plunder pile, 1 from the mighty, and the specialists come out into the dock. So this is where you repair your ship, hire specialists, buy things from the black market if you want, hire your crew, repair your ship. I said that first. But yeah, and now we are ready to load our ships out. And so, like we said before, each faction has unique perks and starting upgrades. One of the things that I get to do as Caribbean Cabal, because we're again about fast ships and big guns, I get to pull 1 random cannon from the plunder pile. And so instead of starting with my 4 old Rusties equipped, I'm gonna go in here and start looking. And so my first pull was a demi culverin. So I get to equip that bad boy instead of one of my old Rusties.
Very cool. And so taking a look at creatures of the deep, all creatures of the deep ships have +1 maneuver. So whenever we zoom in here, this is your ship stat area. That basically shows, this is like a head-on view of a ship here. So you've got the sail up top, and so your maneuver is on the sail. You have this number over here on the left side on the hull, which is your hull points. And then this cracked number over on the right is your boarding threshold, which we won't talk about now. But just suffice it to say that before you can board a ship, it's got to be a little, it can't be in perfect fighting shape. And so that will come into play later. So the whiptail here has maneuver 6, but since I have this particular Creatures of the Deep card, it is going to be 7 throughout as long as I have this. Even when I get bigger ships that are a bit slower, they will be faster.
Yep.
So, Micah, you equipped your old Rusties. I will equip my old Rusties as well. And so we've got that. And then we need to equip our crew, which you did as well. So each person starts, each player starts with 3 crew as part of the standard setup.
Yep.
By the time we get going with this, these are probably be called Buccaneers for just playtest reasons and things like that. But these slots are going to be crew slots, and they can be filled with Buccaneers.
Yeah.
They can also be filled with worshipers and other types of people that are not necessarily key to the running of the ship. One of the biggest questions we get is like, oh no, my crew's all dead. It's like, okay, you got enough people to keep this thing running, firing your cannons, but these are the extra crew that really allow you to board another ship or do other things with crew.
Yeah. If this were Star Trek, they would start as your red shirts. That's what these are.
Well, they kind of are. They're red shirt, white skulls.
That's right. We have these Tabletopia counters, but you guys probably saw that we unlocked the anchor tracker, which I am super excited about. I can't wait to fully refine and work in how that's going to be finalized. But what you see on the page is about what it's going to look like, and so you're going to have a way to track all your stats, kind of a character sheet, if you will, for what you're going. But what you're seeing here is a similar concept for how many fortune die that you have, what your cannon power at different ranges are, and then what your stats modifiers are. So do you have any round shot armor? Do you have any chain shot armor or grape shot armor? And then what your cannon power is. And so to figure that out, you simply tally your power at range. So red is long, yellow is medium, and green is close range. So I'm looking at these numbers on the cannon cards and just saying currently I've got these 4 cannon equipped. So at long range, I'm a 4. At medium, with my demi culverin, I'm actually a 5. And then at close range, I'm 4. And so that represents the number of dice that I'm going to roll when I maneuver at those ranges when I volley my cannons.
So you'll roll 4, 5, and 4. Oh, why didn't that work there? And 4. So there are 3 different types of volley dice: close, medium, and long. And long story short, the closer you get, the more deadly they are.
Can you imagine? Do you think that sticking your face in the end of a cannon would be bad? I think so. I would rather be as far away as possible.
So I'm going to put mine up to 4. I saw a question earlier about movement. So, you know, we talked about the sea here and kind of how it flows out in front of you. So that's kind of abstract. Your combat, which we will dive into, is about relative positioning. So, you know, the sea is a giant, vast area, and what we're doing is we're kind of zooming into one area, and we're trying to maneuver our ships into the right place. So, Micah, why don't you go first? And it's the start of round 1, and the options are either hunt the high seas, which means you choose a foe to fight, or you go to port. Given that we have no plunder, terrible ships, and weak crew, we want to hunt the high seas first. So walk us through your choices here and kind of what you're thinking, what we're looking at and what you're thinking.
So there are 3 different tiers of ship strength, basically, that you're going to find if you kind of simplify what you're looking at. They can easily be understood if you look at the infamy, which is this bottom left number. As a pirate, you're building infamy. We're not infamous at all. It also provides a little bit of a pressure valve for the game that is kind of fun. You know, Davies, pirate lords, just to tease it, they don't care anything about you. You are nothing. You are scum beneath their boots. However, if you get too infamous, they don't like that. They get a little greedy, they get a little envious, and they're going to come after you. So one of the things you want to manage early in the game is how much infamy do I have, and am I building so that you and your co-mutineers can, co-conspirators, if you will, can attack the pirate lords head on, surprise them, take them on 2v1, etc. Because if you don't, they're going to come after you if you get too infamous. But so I'm basically looking at these different merchants that are sailing back and forth. They have cannon power just like I do, stats just like I do, crew like I do. They have an available amount of plunder as well in the bottom right. It's one of the things I care the most about, represented by gold and silver. So that's how much mighty plunder on the gold side or regular plunder on the silver side that ship yields. And so I'm basically looking since I'm a puny little guy, what is comparable, right? So my cannon power is I'm like a 4.54 with 24 hull points, you know, so I'm kind of looking at a comparable ship, which, you know, you could get lulled into thinking that some of the bigger tier 3 ships would be okay to go after right now. Probably not, for a bunch of reasons, but we'll talk about that later. So I'm probably going to want to pick a 1. I could get spicy and go for a 2, but I think I'm going to go for a bounty.
Sounds good.
Actually, no. You know what? I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna go for Windsinger. I'm gonna go for Windsinger.
And why'd you pick Windsinger over Bounty?
So I'm thinking, since I have cannon advantage at medium with 5 cannons, that might be my strategy for this card. Like I might want to attack Windsinger from medium, since they have 3 across the board, so they'll be rolling 3 dice at those ranges against me, and so I have a pretty heavy cannon advantage in general, but more so at medium. So I'll probably want to try to maneuver, get to medium, and just blast them and sink them.
Cool.
Don't know that I want to board just yet, but that's what we're going to do. So when you pick a foe, when you're the initiator in this way, you get a surprise volley. And so basically, I haven't run my colors yet because I'm a good pirate. I care nothing about honor. I am going to fire on them before they realize what I am and what's happening. So you get a surprise volley, which I'm going to roll here.
And so that's 4 long range because you have 4 cannon power at long. So this goes back to when you start, you actually, so we're using this, the tracker won't look like this in the end, but so you're at long distance away from them. They don't know you're coming, so you're firing 4. And then what are these other 2 dice that are here?
So these black dice are the fortune dice, right? So I'm hoping, if you look at my card, the Carribea Cabal card, I have 2 Carribea Cabal abilities. If I were to hit my symbol on the fortune dice, I can spend those points, if you will, for those abilities in battle, whether it's for myself or other people sometimes.
And so that would be Master of Canon or Inspiring Speech. Got it.
That's right.
I just
And
showed
you roll
it
your
twice
fortune
a bit,
dice.
so.
Oh, nice, good. And you roll your fortune dice every single time you volley. So I'm going to do that now. I'm bad at aiming, apparently. So we're going to set the Wind Singer's HP or hull points to 13. I dealt 1 round shot damage, so boom, tick them down by 1. Now they know I'm here. I did not get my symbol, and so we immediately go into a maneuver phase. And so we're rolling challenge dice.
So
I have 6.
Yep, and they're 5. So I already had 5 of these challenge dice out in case he hit a chain shot. So if we take a look at this over here, if he had hit, let's find it, give it to me, this instead, oh, I don't know, it's being weird, then it would actually remove one of these, but we're just going to go ahead and do it. All right.
All right. So we're really looking for ship's wheels here. Nothing else really matters. So they rolled 3, I rolled 5. And so now I win maneuver. That means I get to dictate range. I could run away if I wanted to, but I'm not interested in that. I could maintain, stay at long, fire again, or I can go to medium. And so that's what I'm going to do because I want to have a better cannon advantage. So I am going to go to medium. And so I am 5 at medium. So now I pull my medium range. And you can see they are deadlier. There are no misses on the medium dice, so I cannot miss. And there's actually a chance for me to do double damage in terms of round shot. And so now that they know what I am, I fired on them. There's no surprise anymore. They're going to volley their cannons, and this exchange happens simultaneously.
Yep. Oh,
Ooh,
man.
And I hit my symbol.
Sorry. I really needed the sound effects to go off. They were not, so I re-rolled just so that I could make sure we could hear them.
That sounds good.
Yeah. So 1 second. So Robert was saying, are you able to get more or lose fortune dice? You are able to get more. Generally, you don't lose them. There are some game states where you may roll fewer.
Right.
And so that really would be dependent on the foe. But fortune is moving in your direction, Robert Firestone. It is accruing for you. You are the rising tide, and your foes are the past. But yes, okay, continue.
Really good question. So they dealt 4 damage to me, so I have no way to mitigate that damage, so I just take that damage. So now I'm down at 20. So I would deal 4 and a chain shot to them. They don't have any way to prevent that, no armor. But I also hit my symbol, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use Master of Cannons, which triples the result of one of my die. And so I'm not too worried about them getting away. So I'm going to triple my round shot result. So that means I actually hit them for 3, 4, 5, 6.
And all right, so I'm going to lower that by 6 down to 6.
And I dealt 1 chain shot, which removes one of their maneuver. And so now they're rolling 4 challenge against my 6 still because they didn't hit me with any chain shot. And so then we're back into a maneuver round. 4 to their 2. Should I I mean, how much do we care about super strategy? Should I just board to show people what happens?
Let's not this turn. Let's get some
okay. All right.
we don't have to do super strategy, but a 3v4 boarding I don't think is actually a very interesting boarding, but that's my own personal opinion.
All right, well, I'm just going to stay at
medium. Okay.
I'm gonna stay at medium. Fire again. 2, 3, 4, 5. I hit them for 5 and another chain. Dead gummit.
Very close.
They hit me for 5 too.
They hit you for 5 as well. Yeah, I really should be. So to minimize downtime and to kind of manage it in terms of dice and things like that. What we usually do is we just have the next person managing the foe, and it passes around the table kind of that way. So that's why I'm rolling these things on Tabletopia. You don't have to do that as much because it's very easy to just, roll all the dice at once. But that's one of the things that keeps kind of play moving, keeping things involved. It is, Continue, Micah.
63. I think I'll win this 3-1. And this is a strategic decision. I can volley again. He's kind of tearing me up, even though I'm definitely going to sink him I say definitely. I'm going to chance it a bit. I'm going to go back out to long. So maybe I take less damage. So I'm going to roll my 4 against his 3 at long. Yep. And hoping I can at least hit him for 1 so I can end this and maybe not take as much damage in return. And I did. And he hits me for a chain shot, but your maneuver repairs between battle. So you don't actually keep the same lost maneuver as you would going into the next one. So the assumption is, you've sunk a ship, you've got its plunder, you've got time to make repairs to your sails, and so you're good to go. So I take 1 chain, which does nothing really, and I sink him.
Congratulations.
So I did it. I am now.
I'm going to leave that up there. Just so
leave it up here?
Yeah, it's easier to see up there.
That makes sense
for everybody.
So now I get Windsinger, and so I'm going to pull Windsinger down into my hold below my ship. Look at the plunder. So I get 3 regular plunder here. So I take the 3. See what I got.
You got Captain Teixeira's maps and Ms. Ubrode's indigo.
This is really good. It's really good. I need to dye my stuff. And a mortar, which is what I'm really excited about too. If you look at plunder, one of the ways, unless you're playing hardcore, there's a difference in the game modes, just to highlight that. Plunder has a repairs at sea value beneath the value of the plunder itself. And so for the maps, that would be a 1, and for the indigo, that would be a 2. And so that's the flotsam and jetsam of the ship that I can use to repair my own ship by a little bit. And so I'm able to add 3 of my hull points back. And I'm able to change my loadout because I'm in between, right? So now it's technically Nick's turn. Last thing I do before it's Nick's turn is I refresh the seas. I throw in the next ship out there.
Yep.
And
you're swapping your mortar out. And so that's going to then put you at 455. So it is possible for us to go in against these together at this point in time, but part of what we're trying to do is to maximize kind of like, we're more or less like, we're new, we're starting out, so we're spreading out around the sea and kind of picking off some of the weaker ships so that we can get more plunder before we draw the attention of the pirate lords and they get all jealous and come after us.
Right.
So I'm going to do something quite similar. I'm going to go after the bounty. So Mike, if you could get that set up for me, I'm going to swap you off here. I think Lee, you had some additional questions you were thinking about maybe asking. Have we answered those as we're going through and you're seeing how it actually functions? Obviously, this is the simplest part of it, where you're just getting started. But I will continue to go off there. I'm going to use the same dice that you use. I'm going to go ahead and do my surprise volley. I'm going to hit them for 3 right out of the bat. And instead of the 6 maneuver, I'm going to go with 7. And
slippery and fast.
That's right. If you look, I shuffled that instead. Beautiful roll. Beautiful roll.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, this is great because you get to talk about what you can do here.
Yeah. So you can outmaneuver them. You can lose maneuver, which they get to move. So far we haven't lost a maneuver, but we would see. They want to escape. If we tied, we'd be trying to outmaneuver each other, and we'd more or less be kind of stuck at the same range, trying to line things up. If you win maneuver, like Micah did each time, then you get to move 1 range increment. Now, because he rolled 2, and I rolled 2 plus 4, I rolled 3 more than them. So that makes it if I take a look at these 3, and then, this is a bonus one, means it's a mighty maneuver, which means I can move all the way to close in one go, which I'm going to do. I'm going to use that incredible speed. I'm going to half dive underwater, pop back out, and I'm going to try and shoot them. And so now we're going to roll the close range dice. And ready, set, go.
Yep.
There we go.
Oh, nice. And you got your symbol too.
So a couple interesting things here. The we're gonna pull. He has 4 crew. We're just gonna pull those crew out so we can show you. So the bounty has 4 crew here. This symbol is the 3rd type of damage. So we talked about round shot, which deals damage at hull points. We talked about chain shot, which removes maneuverability, and then grape shot hits their crew. So they actually lose one of those crew because I rolled this. So I did 5 damage total to them.
Yep.
They did 5 to me. That is kind of the, oh yeah, I keep looking down there. That is kind of the hard part is that, you know, it's one thing to get in close and do a lot of damage, but you're also going to be taking that. So over time, part of what you're going to be looking at is how do you actually get closer in or farther out where you're kind of maximizing your cannons. So so let's see here. I am going to go with Allies of the Deep. So I'm going to take essentially a squid token here. It's a suckerfish. I'm going to pop it on their maneuver, and it's going to create some additional drag for them, and so it's going to lower their maneuver by 1. So if you'll go ahead and remove one of those maneuver. Now, we talked about the boarding threshold before, and that means that I can't try and board them until they're at 6 or lower, and they're currently at 3, so I can actually board them now if I succeed in a maneuver. So let's give it a go here. Yes, so I succeeded. So in order to board, you have to either succeed and move into close, or be at close and win. And so since I already killed one of their crew and I have 3, I think I am going to go for it after telling you not to go for it. Do you feel like I betrayed you, or is that okay?
Sorry, I realized it was getting dark. I'm gonna turn the light on back here. Yeah, no, I'm not betrayed at all. I think that is a sound tactical decision.
Okay, great.
After all, we're on the same team.
So we are going to hold on to these maneuver dice because or the challenge dice that we're using for maneuver, just in case we go back to fighting. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to use those same dice, the challenge dice, and we're going to count up how many of each crew we have. I have 3 regular crew. He has 3 regular crew. Now, the reason I think I might win here, because you'd normally look at it and say it's 50-50. In a boarding challenge, the player gets to use the windrows, which is one of the sides on the challenge dice, as a wild, and they do not. So I'm going to go ahead and roll because I think I can. And in fact, I got one of those windroses right here. So it's, yep, but here's what we're going to do though. So these are kills now. They were successes before, they're kills. These are blocks. So if you look here, my kill gets blocked there. His kill gets blocked here. And I'm going to choose to make this a block so that all 3 of mine can live to fight another day, and we go immediately again.
An epic clash of brute strength. Oh
no. Okay, wait, so what happens? Okay, yeah. So I block one, and then these kill each other. So let's get rid of those. Yeah, all right.
1v1.
Yeah. And so we're going to keep going here. Now, they would give up if I ever outnumbered them, but we just eliminated each other. So in classic movie fashion, our swords did what our swords did, and we have no crew. Bye, crew. I barely knew you. And so now that we failed that, we're going to go immediately, because we're still at close range, into a close range volley. And I
no.
I would have killed 2 crew, but I didn't. They would have killed a crew, but they didn't.
Yeah, so they hit you for 3 hull points damage and 1 chain shot.
Yeah, I'm going to delete my chain shot there. I don't have any crew. I'm going to lower this by 3. And they take 2. No, they're still alive. Quick, Robert, does each player have their own infamy, or do you share split? Does that change when attacking solo versus teaming up? So the way that it works is you have your own infamy, and whoever initiates the attack is the one who gets the infamy. So it is a little bit of a way to do some infamy dodging, but it takes up your turn. And since it takes up your turn, that means, I mean, if you want to think of it as like a ratio, your plunder per engagement is reduced. So your PPE. So while you can go 2v1 against the merchants, it's usually best if you don't, if you can handle it. But you know, I'll tell you a game I played yesterday, a test game. My partner got tore up. I was doing very well. They were behind, and they needed to be able to board. And so I literally went along with them. I engaged. I sat out at long range and pummeled their ship and slowed them down. And then my partner swung in with his ship and boarded them and took over their ship and then upgraded. So it was worse for me because then we were splitting like 3 plunder, but as a team it was critical because I knew he needed that upgrade. And so I was able to use kind of my good fortune to overcome some of his bad misfortune in that decision making. And we talked about it. I mean, that's the thing, is like a lot, the strategy comes from the conversation, what you're thinking, what you're doing, and that definitely shows itself more later. Okay. Let's maneuver again. Luckily, I outmaneuvered them. And I did a mighty maneuver. So I'm going to do something potentially silly here. And I'm going to move out to long. I'm enjoying being fast. I'm flying around all over the place. And I have faith that I'm going to hit with... Yes! Okay, I hit with one of these. So I still took 2. They take 2. I now get this card. And so now I get that infamy. And I get... Uh-oh, that was weird. And I get... I am having lots of fun here with Tabletopia tonight.
Can't take the whole deck yet.
So Captain DeLuca's musket and cane root rum. But the bigger... Yeah. So this plunder is okay. It helps a little bit because it's got some repairs at sea. So it's a little difficult to see on these cards. This is an older version of the card. But this information right here, this little, what would you call it? Boards. Mm-hmm. They are repair at sea icon, which Micah mentioned earlier. I have 2 of those, and so I got 2 more using the Flotsam and Jetsam. But the thing that's going to help me most right now is the Demi Cannon, because it is a 2/2/2.
Kilowatt says a great question. So they asked, what's the advantage of moving out to long versus being close right there? So, you know, basically you're thinking about your loadout and how to minimize the damage that you take while maximizing your ability to execute what you want to do or sink the other ship. And so Nick could have stayed. He could have stayed in close and definitely finished them off. You know, they have 1 hit point left. He's rolling 4 close range dice versus their 3. But the close range dice are so deadly. And so there's a potential for 3 round shot. And so since that ship only had 1 hull point left, you know, for him, he was thinking, you know, I can go back out to long. I can roll my 4 long against their 2. And I'm probably going to hit them at least 1 more time. That way I can sink them and not take a ton of damage. And so that's kind of what you're thinking. Like, how can I not get torn up too much?
It was kind of balancing it, because not only do I want to do a lot of damage, I don't want to take a lot of damage, because the less damage I can take, the longer I can stay out. I can hunt more, and I'm just so fast. Like at 7, they were down to 3 or 4, because there's a chance they could escape if they beat me in maneuver, and then they're at long. They're going to try and escape, and I get kind of a parting shot to keep them from escaping, but that's not guaranteed. So it was a bit risky, but I was kind of pressing my luck there and saying, all right, I want to maximize this round to come out ahead the most, and so if we had stayed, I probably would have lost 2 or 3 more at minimum at close and 1 or 2 more at medium because it's deadlier there. So
sorry, I missed Goat Sidekick's question too. Nick, could you highlight the reference?
Yeah, I was pulling that up before. So we have a reference card that is here for sitting next to the player. So it has all the different symbols that you see, and so this is everything we've talked about. So there's round shot, chain shot, grape shot. On the challenge dice, it tells you when you're using it in a maneuver challenge or a boarding challenge, what do the different symbols mean? You got the highlight of this area, the armor, the cannon power, crew, elite crew, infamy, so on and so forth. It has all that information in here. The other side of the card is the turn order. So what we did was we chose a foe, we did a surprise volley, then we did our normal combat cycle, which continues until someone's defeated. We collect, plunder, and restore HP hull points to repairs at sea if you win, and tallied infamy, and then replenish the merchant opponents. And has a couple little like reminders down here that people often forget.
Yeah, that was a must-have for us. Like, love the idea of like a little player aid there. So.
Yeah, I mean, so I wouldn't say that it necessarily had. Yes, it did have more mechanics. I would say that we knew pretty early on, or at least I did, and I a board game without a board was something that 10 years ago was a bit newer, but really trying to say, like, let's make it about action. Let's make it about kind of these tactical decisions, but really it's the strategic arc that is the bigger element. So, we did have some thoughts around making it more about kind of the tactical elements, but ultimately we're looking for a strategic arc. I don't know if that makes sense, but this is a streamlined, streamlined to really focus on kind of these key decisions, being able to feel the power literally as you roll the dice that you've built up, and then making the decisions around it. And Lee, in terms of the map, so that is really that was developed for our oversized table mat that we sell. It is just a piece of art that you can play on top of. It does not have practical gameplay value. It's something that is just to put on your table and play on top of. It is a massive mat, so it actually contains what you see here. So you're rolling on that, you're setting your cards out on it, and that kind of thing. But for people that were interested in that, it is that's what it's for. The first time I encountered a mat like that was actually Slay the Spire, and I love Slay the Spire #1 as a video game, one of my top video games. So I just pretty much just press back on everything immediately, and when it arrived, I honestly didn't know it was coming, and it was that big, and now I use it for all my games. And so when we were thinking about what do we want to offer, we both felt that was a cool thing to offer because we thought it was cool, which is kind of what drives most of what we do, is what do we think is cool. And we realized that we talked so much about New Caribea, but we didn't have a literal like map anywhere represented. And so that was an awesome way. It was at the risk of some hard world building, but putting it out there and having it be a part of that. So probably over-explained that, Lee, but thanks for the question. All right, so that's the end of round. That is the end of round 1. That was my paint.net. You guys could have seen how I do my very poor work, graphic design work.
Nick's got a strat. That's great, though.
I am the master of terrible tools. So we moved up to round 2. So we can kind of get pumping now. When you guys have questions, ask them. That's the color commentary. We will answer, but we want to show you kind of how it goes through.
Yeah, I'm gonna go after sulfur. A yellow and black ash spills out of sulfur's lone stack. It smells like rotten eggs. Uh, yeah, so I'm gonna see. I may try to board sulfur so I can show y'all what an
What a
upgrade.
successful boarding looks like.
Look, I
Uh,
wasn't gonna
so,
say it.
so Micah, you actually forgot something when you were successful before. The one last thing you
Oh yeah,
do
yeah.
when you win is one of your uh, educationally challenged crew learns a little something and is a little smarter, and so becomes more effective and becomes a mighty crew, which
That's right.
we'll discuss whenever it's time to board again.
And Nick would do that, but all of his crew are dead. And
Is that was that trash talk? Were you just highlighting that all my crew are dead to spite me, or
no. That was all about teaching the game.
I felt attacked there? That's all right.
Uh, sorry. So surprise volley against sulfur, hit for 3.
Yep.
Did I count that right? Oh, my brain. No, it didn't.
No.
11, 8.
Yes.
And then 1 chain, so they will lose a maneuver.
Yep.
Down 5 to 4. Pull my maneuver out here. So I'm at long range now, and we maneuver. Oh no! All right, so here's the instance where we tie. So that means we kind of maneuvered around each other perfectly in a circle. I guess we're still at long, so we stay where we are and volley again, and now they shoot back.
Have any of you ever played Sid Meier's Pirates? It is quite an old game.
Excellent roll.
Yes.
Thank you, Nick.
Yes, you never want to roll well when you're playing as the foe. So
I appreciate that.
If you have bad luck, you just don't tell the dice what good is, and always play the foe. All right. And
my ship was just a little too slinky, just sliding around like some. Awesome. Okay. All right. So now I am going to.
You got a mighty maneuver. Yep.
So I can move from long to close. This is perfect. These are not paid actors. So I'm going into close, and I'm immediately going to do a boarding challenge. So I have 2 regular crew. So pull out my 2 challenge dice, and I have 1 mighty. So I pull out my 1 D8.
Ooh, does that die have more sides, Micah?
It totally does.
Oh my gosh! And more sides are better, right?
Usually, at least twice as many sides as these guys here.
Yeah,
So.
and I did the math to make sure that it was better as well. So my spreadsheets tell me that this is better.
Yeah.
But you know because it has more sides. That's all you need to know. Bigger is better or harder, and more sides is better.
Let's see if I can actually win. All right, so we'll go toe to toe here.
Oh,
all right.
Beautiful.
I'm gonna.
Oh wow.
Amazing. So he blocks both of my kills. I block both of his kills.
We go straight in.
We have at it again. All right, so he's gonna block that one. I'm gonna block that one.
See, because he has more than you, it's still gonna be a challenge.
It is, yeah. I mean, it's not a given. All right,
okay.
I'm going to block that. All right, so I'm going to change both of these to a kill.
Yeah, which
and so
both
he's
get
block
blocked.
one of those and block one of those.
Oh my
gosh!
So
we go again.
See, that's what I'm saying is that.
Yeah, we're really close. So.
Same. It's just this is gonna keep. Oh, I didn't check out the remake either, but that's awesome to hear, Goat Sidekick, that you played it a lot. It was a big inspiration for this game, actually.
This is epic. I can't get a 2. There we go. Okay, something's got to happen here. All right, so we block.
No, I told you this is a bad
amazing.
combo. You might want to just give up and go back.
I'm never gonna.
Oh, actually, here you go. Now stuff's happening.
Look, just because the fight goes on, my men have endurance.
All right, so you killed 2.
I'm gonna block that. Just 1. So I'm gonna kill that.
Oh, yep. Okay. So now it's gonna start falling in your favor. Yeah. So
I hope so.
See, Mr. Rayner. Yeah. Okay, so good sidekick. If you, and that's a double. That's a kill there, and now you've won.
Yep.
Hey.
Yep. The merchant. the merchants have no desire to die for their cabbages, and so when you defeat them in a crew assault, a boarding challenge, and have at least one more than them, they surrender. The pirate lords do not; they will fight to the death. And so now I get to show you what happens. So I won first. One of the things that's cool here, and I have the right amount of crew to do it. When you win against a foe in a boarding challenge, 2 of your crew get to upgrade. One upgrades if you sink a ship. Kind of makes sense, having a little experience, but through that intense battle, both of these learned something, and so now I'm at 3 mighty crew.
Woohoo!
So, if you look in the right hand and left hand side of the Brig Sloops UI here, you get to see this brown single mast ship. That's what I've got working. It's just this
A little
simple tier
pixelated
1
here
ship.
on Tabletopia. I promise it's not pixelated in real life.
For sure. And then if you look at the sulfur on
pixels. Sorry, go ahead.
You're fine. On the right side is a silver 2-mast, and so that's one of the ways I can tell, this is a higher tier ship than mine. And you can see on some of the other ones with the gold filigree around the banner, those are tier 3s, and they're 3-mast gold ships. And so now I get to turn over my second shipboard. Handy dandy harpoons at the amazing appropriate spots for this to line up, and now I have a larger ship.
There we go.
So you can see that I get a little healthier, and I get a little slower.
Yeah, you have more hull points, but you're a little bit slower.
Yep, and also I have 1 chain armor now, which is pretty great.
Yeah, click this
so
up
now
for you.
I'll draw my plunder still, so I get my 3. See what I got. Nice. Okay, so I got some Boucan, and I got some Old Crow rum as well.
Buccaneers are named after. Boucan was a dried meat that they were often known for, because they would have cattle and stuff, and then they'd slaughter the cattle, dry the meat, and then sometimes go out and fight. If you know any cool pirate lore, please, by all means, share it. So I'm going to come back to Robert's question about the stretch goals. We're going to hit that for sure. But since we're in the middle of doing this, did the cannons come from the plunder, or did you have them waiting on standby? So you start with the 4 old rusties, and so when you remove those, they come back into your hold. So you can use them again. But once, and so there were 4, but once Micah had enough there, he didn't need, let me zoom in. He didn't, so he's got the mortar, the demi-culverin, and the faithful now, which are all better than 111. And then he has 3 old rusties. So still has 1 old rusty here. So you do hold on to that. And we keep going there.
And so I'll refresh the merchants there for Nick. And then I would, tally my loadout. And so now I'm 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 at long range. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 at medium.
Ooh.
And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 at close. So you see how the power starts to scale. More cannon slots, more cannons, and we haven't even really scratched the surface of what you can pull from the cannon piles, or cannon. What's the right word? Catalog of cannons. I don't even know. Because there's a bunch out there, and so that's really kind of where you can start building a strategy. There are cannons that are better at each range in a different spectrum, and so getting a loadout that favors a particular range over another is a strategy you can do. So right now I'm pretty strong at medium. It's by far my highest power, and then followed by probably long and then close in terms of just pure numbers, but you've seen how the dice roll.
Yep. So I am going to, let's see, because I'm 555 because of this demi cannon here. I'm feeling lucky. So I'm actually going to go for a pearl, which is a bit stronger, a little bit tougher, has a little armor. But I'm going to go ahead and go for a pearl. And the one that I chose has it's worse at long range, and okay at medium and best at close. I have zero desire to get to close. I have no crew remaining, so I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to get my surprise volley. I just did 2. I was hoping for something good there. Are we close? Are we close to 120? I didn't think we were going to get 120 today. Now I got to look. Let's see here. Oh my gosh, we are 117. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Okay, so that's a good segue to stretch goals. So our stretch goals are, I don't know how to describe it. I feel like I'm always casting aspersions whenever I talk about other people's stretch goals. So I'm not going to talk about other people's stretch goals because I don't know how other people's stretch goals actually work. I have an impression. Our stretch goals are actually tied to the number that they cost, if that makes sense. So it literally, when we hit that number, we're able to hit like an efficiency mark, pretty close to it, because we didn't go with like dollar. You know, we kept it to the closest 5 or 10,000. So those help us hit like an efficiency point to be able to offer those. You know, our goal with the game was literally originally at 15,000 was like, can we make this game? And we'll, you know, like it was the lowest number that was a real number. You know, we didn't artificially lower the number. But if we had stopped at 15,000, you know, we would have a game to deliver. And literally all of these stretch goals are helping us get there, like, to be able to add different things. So I'm not sure if that's kind of what you were thinking, Robert. I think that what we have in the unlock stretch goals, I'm trying to think. I mean, we actually know what the next ones are. I just don't know yet.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Yes, stretch goals. Wait, it sometimes goes to it. So, long, most notable, shiny table, scribblings and yarns, and above the horizon. These, the only one that could potentially be, if we don't have any, we're going to hit the 120. Man, just blowing my mind. But like scribblings and yarns, we can maybe do later.
Yeah, I think we can.
Yeah, and maybe above the horizon. I mean, you know, I guess it's all money in the end. So, you know, if just depending on how we do, because our plan doesn't stop here. You know, we're gonna later have a version of the game. It won't be as, you know, thank you filled as this version is, but, you know, I don't know. Who knows? But yeah. Can we make this game cooler? I mean, for sure.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I mean, that's what we wanted to do. Like, yeah, tie it to real things, but also, you know, even all the add-ons.
Cool. Thanks, Robert.
You know, all of the add-ons that we have, and we're not every gamer. We don't know what everybody loves, but it really was born in the idea, what do we think would be great for this, or what would I love to have if I were doing this, you know? So like things like really good mats, or being able to, you know, some people, not everybody, but some people love to sleeve their cards. And so could we do not just sleeves, but art printed sleeves, because there's some cool stuff on the cards themselves, and art printed is awesome. And then like, how does that expand into how we think about creating organization for the game inside the box? And, you know, can you place these sleeved cards in that organizational tray? For some games you can't, and then you have to get this other custom thing. So like, yeah, we are really trying to think about what we would love as a player and what would be really cool for the game in and of itself. Try not to put any fluff there and just offer it as something that we think would be awesome. But yeah, I appreciate that. And yeah, to answer Robert's question further, I think there are a couple of things on this latest map that we put that we could very well look at offering at a later date. There's nothing game breaking on there at all. Like, all of these are just quality enhancements and things that we think are cool. But yeah, and Nick and I for sure for sure had all of this planned, and still, I don't want to like it, the map was well fleshed out. We'll just say that. But
Yeah, yeah. Just like an example, I think this is one of the ones that I would have not really totally understood, and we were like, how do we show people that we're upgrading like how the dice are made? It's like kind of a hard thing, but it's a significant expense. I mean, it's something like, you know, $7,000 to $15,000 in molds, depending on how you look at it, to be able to make dice this way. But they are objectively better. They will last longer. They will feel better. They'll be more consistent. And at the same time, we pay for that once, and then we can continue to offer those dice kind of across everything. So, I think that's a good example of like, we could not have done this if we had not hit this. And even like Theater of the Mind, like a TTRPG, in a sense it's free because it's digital, but we're like actually paying people to do the work, those kinds of things. So, we believe in compensation and those kinds of things. But yeah, thanks for asking that question. I had not really thought about it that way. But yeah. Okay.
oh man,
So
that
go
makes
ahead.
me so excited. Well, one really quick nerdy thing for Robert. One of the things that we thought about was, how the box looks on the shelf, the display of it, which we're so pumped about. We're gonna have gold foil on the box with spot UV, and so like A Tale of New Caribea is going to be in gold foil. And people like to display their game boxes in multiple ways. Some people will lay them down, some people will stand them up. And so it was really important to me to talk through that with Nick and say, like, how do we want to do that? So the sides of the actual box can be displayed vertically, and the top and the bottom of the box can be displayed horizontally. And so whichever way you want to use it, it's going to look great. And there's also some really cool stuff. I don't know how many of y'all have seen some of the unboxing videos, but even on the inside of the lower box and around the edges, there's a cool art reveal. So I'm pumped about it. And our manufacturing is incredibly cool, and they're just going to get better, which is so exciting. But yeah, really, really can't thank y'all enough. It's been awesome. It's going to continue to be awesome. We're not done yet. So. By the way, yeah, here's another Easter egg that's not so subtle. What ship are you fighting there, Nick?
Pearl. A beautiful
what's the
ship with ashen wooden sides and a notoriously sea-savvy crew.
Interesting. Interesting.
I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means.
Chat, what ship is that? Tell him what the Pearl is, chat. He knows. He does know. It's just not clicking.
No, I do know. But it's from Pirates of the Caribbean. Now that you've made me say it. By the way, is it Caribbean or Caribbean? We did a day or two of research to figure out how we were going to land on that. How would people at the time have said it? Anyway, I learned too much about the Carib people. Not too much about them, but too much about how Caribbean is said in different parts of the world, different times. So I rolled, and it was a bad roll. But maybe you didn't see it. So should I roll again? No. Let's do this. So even though,
talk about what happened through this maneuver.
So they're going to try and escape, and I should. I thought I could outrun them, but now they're starting to outrun me. But I flubbed it a bit, and so now they're going to try and get away. Because they're at long, they would escape, except for I get one last chance to do a parting volley, which is like a...
Ooh.
Yes, we did it. Which is like a surprise shot, except for it adds one additional thing, which is if you get a chain shot, it slows them just enough to where they don't escape. So because I got a chain shot, now they have one chain shot armor, so it doesn't actually reduce their maneuver. So if we look here, Pearl actually has one chain shot armor, but this was enough to kind of mess them up so they can't quite get away yet. I still did 2 damage, and we'll go from there. All right, now, look, eventually it's got to come my way, although that was not too great. All right, I'm going to roll for them. All right, so I beat them 3-2. It's not a mighty maneuver. I'm going to go to medium because now I'm afraid, even though I would like to fight them out at long because they're 4 and I am 5. We're both 5 here. I'm more worried that they're going to escape than anything else.
Yeah, it could get hairy for Nick here.
Okay. So 3 chain. So I did.
So they are going to take 2.
They are going to take 2. And then 3. So lower that by 3. And then they hit me for 2, 5.
And 1 chain.
All right. Oh, man, I keep going down there because for forever the whole point tracker was down below, but it's easier to see here. Okay, and then 1 chain. All right. Now I'm actually going to try and move back out to long if I can. Okay, great. Because I don't want any of that business, to be totally honest.
Oh, no. They're rolling well.
Yes, they are. Okay, so I take 3. And 1 chain. They take 1 chain, which they block, and 1 regular damage. This is starting to get a bit rough. I rolled my symbol. I'm going to use what's called vestigial appendage. I'm going to make a giant tentacle come up out of the sea and block the next HP armor, or the next 6 HP on the next volley. So it's going to fling up and it's going to stop those. All right. Good night. Have a good one.
Night, night.
Okay, so let's volley again.
Or
Vestigial. So hot right now. Okay, so I am going to go to medium because I have that vestigial appendage. I'm feeling better about the kind of damage they can do to me here. See,
yeah,
so I'm just,
that's true.
That's what I needed. Okay. So I block all of that. I still take 1 here, but I blocked all of it because, because my vestigial appendage. And I dealt 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 to them. Now I'm liking it. Now it's going my way again. So I'll lower it by 9, and then we go into time to roll maneuver. So they were wearing me down.
Uh-oh.
I actually didn't.
Uh-oh. Oh, no.
No, we're gonna be okay. We're gonna be okay.
I believe.
Yeah.
Let me see. Okay.
Okay. So 4. All right. I probably shouldn't have gone after them, but I was feeling good. Wanted to do it. Wanted to show some stuff. All right. As we got some new folks that joined. Ask us questions. We're gonna just keep playing this game and talking about random stuff that comes to our minds. Unless you have a specific question. So you will be doing us and everyone else who's paying attention a favor by asking whatever is on your mind.
Yep. So Nick sinks the pearl.
Yeah. So these are kilowatts. These are the medium range dice. So when I'm at medium, these are the medium volley. And I see how many I have by counting up how much medium cannon power I have. I have 2 here, 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, giving me a total of 5.
Oh,
Cool.
man, I just got distracted by Robert's post in Discord.
What is it?
It's the Queen Anne's Revenge, dude.
Oh, that's tight.
Holy cow, that looks amazing, dude.
All right, here I'm gonna pull it up. Where is it?
That's so cool, man.
All right, I've got streamer mode on, so this should work. But if it doesn't, then yeah, cool.
Yeah,
I got streamer mode on.
incredibly cool.
Let's take a look at this.
I love it, man.
Whoa, and he's got the little it's not a jaw harp, but the little what is that harp thing called over here? Those are cool.
Love that, man. That's awesome.
Yeah,
nice work.
thanks for sharing this. And you made this?
That is so cool.
It's got lights.
Yeah.
Whoa. and look at that detail. Wait, what material is that? Is It's not plastic, is it? It's like foam board or something.
Is it balsa wood?
No,
Did you cut
yeah,
it after
it's cardboard. How cool.
Yeah, that's amazing. I need to take some pictures next time I go. My dad's got 3. He's got
Oh,
3
that's cool.
old school sailing ships in that style.
Was it fun to build, Robert? That's cool. I'd like to see those, Micah. You gotta get them up on the Discord.
Yeah, I will.
Wow, very cool. And is this, you're saying Red Tides is gonna go next to this?
That's so great.
Yes, awesome, dude. I might hit you up in Discord afterwards to find out sort of where you got this, because my son loves Legos, and so I've built them with him, but like I want something more that I can sink my teeth into. Legos are fun, but I don't know, they've almost gotten too easy. I think the instructions were worse when I was a kid. I don't know.
Probably so.
Just under it. You know, it's cool though. What I'm wanting to see is how these lights reflect off the gold foil and the UV.
Oh yeah.
I think it might.
Yeah.
That's super cool. Thanks for sharing, Robert. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, anybody else got stuff to share? Pop it in Discord, and we'll pop it up here. Yes, color matches. So close or green, exactly. Yep, you got it. We tried to be very consistent with that in terms of the you see a thing somewhere, it just propagates on through. So hopefully you learn it once and you don't have to learn it again. Okay, so I did defeat it, which is great. Now, why did I go after a harder one? It's because of this right here. And so this is it's casino time, as I sometimes think of it. What is going to happen? Can I shuffle them before I draw them? Even though we shuffled them before, I'll feel better if I shuffle it.
Yeah, shuffle it, dude.
All right, I'm just gonna shuffle it. I learned this from Paula Denham. You shuffle a whole bunch. Okay, so I'm gonna get it, and then just like Hearthstone, I'm gonna zoom in here, and we're gonna see what we got. All right, who thinks this is a cannon? Hey Towns, round 3. Who thinks it's a cannon? Who thinks it's plunder?
I think it's plunder.
You think it's plunder? I think it's a cannon. Yeah. You know what I think it is? I think it's cannon payant.
That'd be amazing.
Does anyone speak French well? I would love. I could just look it up on the internet. Plunder. We got plunder. Cannon. Yes. Okay, this is our first mighty plunder. All right.
If it is a cannon, it's a Bartholomew Diaz.
Okay. Oh! Well, I appreciate Goat Sidekick and Towns because that's what I thought too. Now, these new charter muskets, like there's a couple things there. First of all, new charter, what is that? Oh, I want to talk about, muskets. People are shipping muskets around. They're called new charter. Man, is there something happening out here in New Carribea, in John Davies' New Carribea that shouldn't be happening, perhaps? Maybe. New charter. They got muskets over there. So, not going to help me right now, but when I go on my little shopping spree back at port, I'm going to spend it up. I'm going to trade these muskets in. It did give me 3 repairs at sea, which is great. And then I've also got these 3. We're going to zoom in here. Man, we should make it okay. Oh, this is exactly what I wanted. This is.
Are you going long?
I think so. I think so. Okay. I wanna live out in the far reaches and out race everybody and just stay out there on the bleeding edge. So I got long 9, which is the best. And sorry, I can't show it to you. In the way that people normally read, but it's a 113. So it's the best of the regular plunder for long range. And then I just so happen to also get a mortar, which is kind of like also pretty good at long range. Not as good as a long 9. Look them up if you're interested. But so that's going to put me at 2, 5, 7, 8. Now I'm
nice.
not hitting your 9s over here. Medium's good. I'm liking this. So since it's a 2-player game, we're going to need to have a little bit more generalized builds. If we go super specialists, we could run into some problems.
Yeah,
Because
you're gambling a bit more if you go hyper specialized into 2-player, just because of the potential Pirate Lord draws and the aspect draws. Because there are some things that the Pirate Lords would be like, yeah, sure, try that, please.
yeah.
And so yeah, but
And we got the captain's Madeira cask. And I've been learning Portuguese, Madeira, which is a Portuguese island where they have a special type of wine or drink called Madeira. And so I get one more there.
So we're round 3 now, yeah?
We're round 3, that's right, because you went first. So how do you get the fancy purple name badges? I never used. Do we have fancy purple name badges?
What are we talking about?
I don't see that. Towns is asking about how do we get fancy.
Oh, he's talking about the comment badges.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So it's basically how much you comment, how much you interact. It builds up XP. And the top 3 at any given time get those logos.
Do we want to hunt one more round and then go to port, or you want to?
I think I can take another round out at sea. I want to get a little bit more plunder.
Okay.
Even if I don't get to use it this round, I don't think it's going to slow me down.
You're going to go for one,
Okay, so let's see. I got 40, 50, 60 gold. I will heal whenever I go Creatures of the Deep. So then I'll need at least to spend 20, 30. No, let's go in. Let's go into port because I want to upgrade.
Okay. Fine with that.
Yeah. So as we come into round 3, we decide that we're going to go to port. We don't both have to go to port, but we can do stuff together while we're in port. So we try and sync it up kind of where we can. In a 4-player game, maybe not all 4 people go in, maybe 2 go in or 3 go in and that kind of thing, and different reasons and ways. The benefit of going in together is we can actually now kind of shop together. I should have looked at this before well, either way. So let's first of all go back to our asymmetry. Creatures of the Deep automatically restore all HP when arriving at port. Woohoo! So that's
soaking your pins in the shoals.
That's right. I like to imagine little crabs just like crawling over, plugging holes, doing little hammers, like a little hammer crab. It just doesn't even use a hammer. It just uses its giant claws like a fiddler.
Crab labor.
Yeah, crab labor. Crabs don't unionize, so so I did that. So when you are in port, you can get extra crew for cheaper. So you can get 3 for 10 instead of 2 for 10.
Yep. Because I don't look like a weird squiddy fish guy.
So you say.
You want to come with me?
So I have 60. I think I said I had 60 gold. I can pay 10 gold for 2 crew, so I'm going to get 4.
Yeah, I'm going to get 3 crew myself.
So that leaves me with 40.
40, 50. I got 50 left. I think I'm going to throw at least I'm going to throw at least another 10 to repair.
Okay.
Get myself at least 31.
Are you on any of these specialists? So this is the other major thing is if we look down here, we got these slots right here. This is where you can specialize your ship in different ways. And so, the 4 core factions specialize.
Thank you, Robert.
Specialize.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, thanks. Really appreciate it. It's very encouraging. Okay, so the 4 core factions use specialists from the port over here. Ooh, what do the Firebelly people look like? I can imagine the others. Interesting, you should ask that. let's see what they look like, because we actually have some down here. That's a fire belly right there. And
Yeah, we had 2
also,
on the board, too.
yeah, and then there's 2 on the board here as well. So if we take a look, Iron Guts is fire belly. So, you know, they got a lot of soot and smoke around them all the time. And they tend to be kind of atypical thinkers, eccentrics, depending on how much money they have. Yeah, so this is a fire belly here. But if you want to look at kind of a bread and butter fire belly, you know, on the Hellboat here, yep, I think you're right. Got that mechanical arm. Now, do all fire belly look like that? Probably not, but we got an example of 3 fire belly here, and then there's another captain at least that you could see. Anything else, Towns, would be your imagination or your art, because I know you're an artist. Okay, Micah, what are you buying? I don't really want any of these.
I can't afford much now.
You got 50, don't you? Thought you
Got
had
40
50
left.
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
Got 40 left. I think.
I'm thinking about copper plating, but if you were interested in copper plating, I'd wait until you took it and see what got left over.
Are you not? Because you're thinking long range, yeah?
Yeah, but
I mean, still good.
oh,
Probably
yeah,
better.
yeah. So this is our gold down here. I should be spending it. It's a pain in Tabletopia, so I just do it in my head here. So I got 10, 20, 50, 60. So I spent 20 of it on crew, and so I have 40 remaining. So what should happen is I should take this and I should put it in the discard right up here. And so now, and I'll put it up over here. In fact, I'll put it all the way up here. So this is my 40 I have left. Micah, can you move your 40 up as well to your side? Now, we could kind of combine stuff here. Like Micah could give me some of his plunder, which I could then use. So for instance, neither of us are very happy. Like with our build, these aren't kind of the best. But I'm almost thinking maybe, Micah, you take cannon slot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the way.
I'll give you 20.
Yeah.
How do I do this? I do this. Yeah. There we go.
I'll do that.
Yeah. So I'll give you. So I'm giving Micah 20 of mine. He's going to take creative construction. So you know where you can put another cannon? In a hole you smash in the side of your ship. So he takes that and he is going to put it on his ship. Can you take the old Rusty off? So it's a specialist slot. It goes here, but this is a cool double stacker. So then he actually gets another cannon slot. So now he can put his extra old Rusty right there. And so now he'll actually have more cannons overall. That's why it's so expensive, because the capacity for that is quite high. Okay, so now that he did that, a new specialist comes out. Oh, you got to be kidding me. These are fairly defensive. These are all defensive here, except for this one, which is anti. If I wasn't going long range, I would consider. You know what? I can't afford improvisations because we got rid of it. I'm gonna buy copper plating, so I'm just gonna increase my health, my armor by 2. So I'm good on here. 1, 2.
It's like it didn't shuffle. It's like it didn't shuffle the deck.
Yeah, I may not have hit the shuffle button enough. I'm gonna put my 4 crew that I bought back on my ship, and I gotta get to boarding here, to be honest, because
I need to upgrade.
Yeah. All right. Did you see that kilowatts where the gold came from at any given time?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right. But I'm at max health. I got good friends. We got good tunes out here. We don't have any tunes. I could put on some tunes. So it's your turn, Micah. What do you want to do?
I'm going to shoot for a tier 3 ship. I'm gonna take on the torch.
Oops, sorry, that's too loud.
I couldn't actually hear anything, but I'm not listening to the stream, so.
Yeah. I'm not actually. You know what actually has the best pirate music? Is the Black Flag soundtrack.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. All right. So you know what you're doing. Let me do camera stuff here. There we go. So you just going for just a straight takedown, or are you going to try and do some boarding?
I think I'm going to see
how it goes.
Yeah, I want to board, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try. We'll see what happens here. 2, 3, 4, 5. So I knock them down by 5. And now we maneuver. And notice I'm a tier 2 now, so I'm a little bit slower. So I'm going to roll 5 instead of 6 against their 4. And we tied at long. Dadgummit. All right. So they're going to shoot me with 6 this time. And I'm going to... Alright, so I will take 4 damage. I will block that chain. Because now I have chain armor. And I'm going to hit them for 3 damage. And they will block 1 of my chain shots, but 1 gets through. So I reduce their maneuver down to 3. And then we maneuver again.
Yep. And I'm back. I got some shanties going, so.
Nice.
All right,
so
win.
I'm gonna move into medium.
All right. And they're not very good at medium.
So here's another part of a strategy layer to consider. The cannons in this game are realistic in the sense that in the simplest means you can choose to fire or not fire them. You know, if my goal is to board, I obviously don't want to sink them before I can do that. I still need to reduce their hull points by at least a couple more to get them to 9 or lower so I can board. But if I were to roll all 10 of my medium range dice, I could relatively reasonably sink them. And so since I don't want to do that, I'm going to probably roll like 5 or so of my medium, which just means that I'm not firing some of these cannons. I'm only firing my faithful and my demon culverin.
You're a smart player, Micah.
I've played the game a few times.
That's high level tactics. And it can matter which ones you fire. Like, so you can actually choose, and there are some interesting choices there. And even if you don't fire cannons, which is sometimes the right move, you still get to roll your fortune dice.
That's right.
Okay, so I am ready whenever you're ready. Yeah.
All right, so they block my chain, but I do hit them for 5.
All right.
So that was good.
Yes.
And they hit me for...
They hit you for 5, yep. And I'm going to go ahead and pull out 2 more crew, and just to kind of note how many crew they have and what you're going to be doing.
Yep. See if I can win here.
Oh, no. So they actually move out to long.
Yep.
And now you got a decision. Are you gonna keep trying to... How are you going to handle this? Because what is your cannon power? It's 8
I'm 8
at long. Yep.
I think I'm just going to sink them.
Well, I actually don't think you will sink them on this shot.
I'm going to try.
Yeah. Yeah, you see?
Yeah.
That's the way to go.
I was hoping I would get as many chains as possible, really.
Yeah,
but
not bad.
Yeah. All right.
And so they did 2 chain to you, and so you block 1, is that right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then 3 damage. There we go. All right, and now you're going to get a mighty maneuver. Watch this. Pretty close, actually. So what's the plan? Now are you going to keep him?
I'm gonna try. Let's go to medium. I'm just gonna roll my fortune dice +1.
You know what? You might want to try it. Well, yeah, because unless you roll 2, it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Try to knock their maneuver out.
Yeah. And they have 4.
I'm just a little worried I might double 2 there, but
yeah. I mean, I guess it doesn't hurt, but yeah.
All right, so I knocked them down 1 more. They hit me for 4.
Mm-hmm.
All right, can I win maneuver? I think I can.
Hold on. They hit you for 1 maneuver. Oh, you block it. That's right. Okay.
Yeah, I block it.
Oh,
Yay! All right,
that's
so
what
we
I'm
at least
talking
get to
about.
fight this out.
Yeah.
All right, so I've got 3 regular crew, 3 mighty.
And so this is, yeah, so he's putting out 3 challenge dice here. And then 3 mighty challenge dice, which we talked about before. And they get 6. So you like these close battles, huh?
T-man. That's good. That's good. It's actually well, and that's one of the things that we really love about the game. Like you really do learn how to play in round 1. Like you know the whole game. It only adds layers of strategic complexity as you get in deeper, but not in terms of mechanic complexity necessarily.
Yeah.
There are little things that you will adjust and learn, but when you learn to surprise volley, maneuver, volley, and board, like you've got the game. You really do. It's just a matter of depth. That makes me laugh because I can sympathize because my closet may or may not be full of some games that I've never played.
Is it? Yeah.
Oh gosh. Okay.
The other thing is there are different modes. Like, so if there's a story mode, which is more about just getting through the game. That sounds negative, but like if you just want kind of a leisurely, like, hey, I want to play through. It's not punishing. You can take as much time as you want, and so it's a more leisurely kind of playthrough. Your chances are pretty high, even if you're not making necessarily the best choices of actually winning.
Right.
So how did it play out here?
So basically,
all completely equal.
Pretty much, because I'm going to choose to obviously block his kills.
Yeah.
So that means that 2 people die, 1 on each side.
Okay.
So mighty crew are the last to be sacrificed. Just as a side note, so regular crew will go first, and so one of my 3 here will die.
As a player, you've got a choice, but for the enemy, it's always that. I don't know under what circumstances you would, but if we want to be ultra rulesy pedantic, the player has a choice.
Yeah.
Which I often find myself in that role. Okay, all right. So that's good, though, because the proportion, you have the same number, but the proportion for you of the mighties is a lot higher.
I got some doubles here, so we're looking good. So he's going to block that. I'm going to block that. And then he blocks 1. He blocks 1. Oh, man, it worked out perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now
somebody's definitely dying here.
All right, because he's only got 2 to oops.
So there's a block.
Yeah, I'll let you do it.
He blocks that one. He blocks that one. These guys kill each other, and this guy kills those 2 guys.
Yes, so he loses 3.
Yep, he will lose 3. I will lose 2. So my regular crew is dead.
Yeah.
This is what we'll do right here. Like,
and
please,
then they give up.
Please. No, I don't want to die for my cabbages.
I'll jump in the bag, the briny bag. Okay.
All right, so I defeat the torch via crew assault, the boarding challenge, and now I get to upgrade my ship because this is a tier 3 ship. You see the gold 3 mast and the gold filigree around the torch's name there. Also gave me a bunch of infamy because that was a big boy. Or well, actually, that was a medium boy.
Yep.
So it's a 2. And so I get to now fully realize my ship's size. So same kind of thing as before. Looking at the harpoons, overlapping it. Boom. There we go. And then the cannons that I had in my hold can come out. And so obviously I've got some power to grow and some slots to fill. I'm a little bit slower again, so instead of 5, I'm down to 4 maneuver. And so there are ways that I might want to think about augmenting that with specialists if I can. We'll see. But yep. So
You're
that's what
missing
that
an old
looks
rust.
like.
Oh no, you got this old rusty here. All right, I see. Yep.
Yep, I got
Okay,
it in my
well,
slot,
great.
but it's
So
overkill at the moment.
he's got a big giant ship, and I've got a little baby ship, a little minnow over here. So I got to get cracking. I got to get moving, or else I'm putting us in danger here. I don't have any special. I don't have anything totally special to do here. I'm just gonna go old school classic. Let's see. Oh yeah, plunder. Mike, you want to get some plunder?
Yeah,
Thanks,
thank
goat
you.
sidekick.
I'm like, wait a minute.
Why are we even
Yeah.
pirates then? What's
Look,
the
I
point?
just do it for the infamy.
I think
This-
you might be just a mass murderer. You know.
The new Carribea deserves a better class of pirate. And I'm gonna give it.
Ooh, Antikythera.
Nice.
Very
so
cool.
I'm gonna get four repairs at sea.
Yeah.
And I do have now 2 cannons that I can
Load
pop
'em
into those
up.
slots.
Yeah.
And I know you want the long 9, so maybe next time we're in port, I could trade that.
Yeah, might be good. Might be good. I'm liking a long sniper kind of build. And we got Remy Babineau out here. I'm kind of looking towards that, maybe trying to take him down.
That's kind of what I thought you were doing, which is
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, so, we're not fighting these guys yet, but I know what their abilities are. And Remy Babineau's is to...
We might want to preface by saying that's part of the reason you go against these certain pirate lords is the power ability.
Yeah, exactly. So the pirate lords yield plunder, but they also yield power. So that is the way that you get another specialist die. It's a specialist die. A fortune die is defeating a pirate lord. And so if we're able to defeat them, we get a fortune die, but we also get an ability. And so once per engagement, double all round shot results at long range. So I really, that's kind of what I was thinking I was going to do. Once I got my, should have locked that down. Once I got my, can you guys hear me over the music? I don't feel like I can hear myself over the music. Once I got a mortar and a long 9, I was kind of feeling this long range build. And since Remy Babineau is one of the options that's out there, in a 2-player game, we have 4 of the 12 pirate lords available. Yeah, I'm fine. Thanks, Towns. So I'm just kind of thinking in that direction. So in the meantime, though, I got to get a bigger ship. I got to get cracking here. I am going to stack the deck against a Staghorn because it's only 2 at long range. And I'm going to get that going. So, Micah, if you can set up the Staghorn, which is a modest prize for a savvy pirate. I don't know if I'm savvy. I'm slippery. I'm squiddy.
That's alliteration.
Oh, I bet you're right, Goods. Or maybe I'm just getting excited. If it's too loud, tell me to calm down, because sometimes when I get excited, I definitely do talk a lot louder. Let me actually put my sound back in. Test. Yeah. Okay. Now I've got my own sound in my ear, so I won't yell as much. Man, I'm finally learning how to use all this equipment that I bought years ago. Okay, surprise attack. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then... Whoa, Staghorn's slow? You usually don't get a one that's that speed. That's slow. And I 2 long shot. Or chain shot.
Down to 2.
Great. And I'm still at 7. So if I... I better Okay, it was still close. It's all right. I'm going into medium. I'm going to keep these up and use them later. And I'm a 5 at medium. Okay. Yep. I'm going to block 2 of these, which I did. Yes, I'm blocking 2 of these.
You sunk him.
Oh my gosh, I did. Is that why you were saying careful?
Yeah.
No! Okay.
No rewinding.
Yeah. All right. Well, when you're not paying attention because you're too worried about your sound levels, it wasn't quite a one shot. It was close though. But yes. So, well, I'm just picking on the little guys down here. That's it. I'll get my plunder, more cannons, demi cannon. I love a demi cannon. Love a
it's a great
cannon. Yeah, it's a 2-2-2. Just feels so good. And another mortar. Oh wait, though. See, a mortar versus a demi cannon is. I mean, I'm gonna go with the demi cannon
for sure.
Yeah, I hit the powder storage for sure.
So we're in round 4. One more merchant round. You need to upgrade your ship.
I need to badly. Now the thing is that I do get an upgraded guy here, so that's good. Yes, I could try the double upgrade. But,
I mean, you could.
No, not with these guys out here.
I'm probably gonna. I think I'm just gonna sink one really fast.
Okay. Show.
I'm gonna see if I can.
What's your
I'm gonna go against the.
What's your
Warspite.
infamy at?
Oh,
check your infamy
call.
before you fight the Warspite.
I'm good. I'm only at 4.
Okay.
So that'll put me at 8. So I'm still good.
You have to kilowatts. You have to actually board the other ship, a larger ship than you, and so Micah was able to do that twice. I attempted, and my people died. They all died, so I wasn't able to board. So I had to go back to port, pick up crew, and because I'm an efficiency nerd, I didn't want to waste. See, I get 2 crew for 10, and so I bought 4, but it would have been less efficient if I had bought this other one. But it may cost me. I probably should have just done it because I need crew now.
Yeah.
All right, I'm here. I'm ready.
All right. I'm gonna surprise volley the Warspite.
I'm kind of playing like a fire belly, just fire. Yeah, Micah needs to chill, and yeah, I mean, actually, it's not a bad idea. Micah, what's your close?
9.
You have any interest in coming in and shooting this guy really hard at close range? Like maybe pick a different one? Yeah, team up, and I'll try and board him and see if I can hop all the way up.
Yeah. Yeah? There's no 2s out. Do you want to go refresh?
No. Yeah, we it's probably better to do that against a 2, huh?
Yeah, and it's good to show people because I don't know that they know you can do this.
Okay, so we're gonna move. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
We're going to go to fresh seas. So a certain number of times a game, depending on the difficulty. Whenever now we're doing it strategically. The mechanic is technically to get you out of a bind if it's all 4s and you're not able to fight all 4s. But we're gonna cross our fingers and hope that doesn't happen. And actually, Michael will probably be okay. So we're going to actually clear these. We're going to sail to a new part of the sea, and we're going to get 6 new ones out. And we're going to hope that one of them is a 2, and it is. A 2 infamy is what we're talking about here. So what we're doing is we're sailing against the sender together. So the amount of plunder that we're getting isn't super great, but I'm so far behind in my upgrade that Micah's going to let me buddy along with him. and he's going to go into close range, and he's going to try and grape shot them down, so I can then board. So we're just we got something we're trying to do here.
See if it works.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a good idea or not. So now we're going 2v1, and so we'll get to. Is there a reason I didn't make it 5 gold for one crew? Yeah, I don't know if it's a good reason, but there's. So when it comes to economy, there's like a base. I'm trying to think like how to say it. Yeah, so towns. This is actually a development since something that you've seen, which is where we changed something for certain reasons. But let me. So why didn't I make it 5 gold for one crew? 10 is the base amount of gold. We could have made it 1. So that's kind of the first part. Like, so instead of 10 gold, it's 1 gold, but 1 gold. Like, nobody wants to get 1 gold. 10 gold pieces. You feel like you're maybe doing something. So that's how does the psychology and math work together. The 10 for 2 is kind of following on from that it would be it's basically it's 2 per the lowest unit of the economy. No, this is great. This is why we're doing it. So it would be a problem either way. The real problem, you might argue, is in how many slots there are. There's 5 slots, and that is by design. To actually put in a little friction at some very weird edge cases. You start with 3, so your first upgrade can just be straight up 2, and you're okay. But we found that through playtesting, settling on an odd number of crew ends up working better for the economy. So,
yep.
Could we fix it? Potentially, but it's like a what's that game? Pickup sticks? I don't know why that popped in my head. Where you move one stick and 30 other sticks move around,
right?
And that one isn't worth moving, I guess is the best way to say it. I bet some other people could make it happen. But yeah. Okay, so how does tag teaming a merchant work? So it works the same as tag teaming anything else. Any co-op battles when you're going in, I'm going to actually use the card. So we choose the opponent, then both of us will surprise volley, me and then the next person. In a 4-player game, we'd go all the way down the line, 1, 2, 3, 4, if there are 4 people. Then we'll swap off normal combat cycle back and forth. So I'll maneuver volley, Micah will maneuver volley.
Yep.
Yes.
I'm about to do that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Not super great.
Let's lower this. It's only 18. Through. Okay, so one chain makes it through, which is good. We want that. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, now, Micah, don't forget you've got to get in close.
Yeah. I'm gonna try not to blast him.
All right, so I am not going to volley at long at all. Because I need you to get in close, but I am going to roll. No, okay. So now we maneuver. So I got my 7. I'm going to keep it over here on this side. And how much do you have? You have 4?
Yep.
Okay.
3.
Okay, cool. All right. Are you going?
No, I'm not going to shoot him.
All right, so they're going to shoot at you.
Yep.
Ouch. They hit you for 8. Uh-oh.
Yeah, it's a little dicey.
We maybe shouldn't have done this.
Hey, look, I believe in us. It's about to get weird, though.
Let's do it either way. If we sync, we'll show people how syncing works. Okay.
Yep.
So I maneuver, and I have 2.
1.
I have 1. I'm going to stay at long. I mean, while we're chancing stuff, I'm going to stay at long. Wait. Yes, I'm going to... No, hold on. I'm at max health. I'm going to go to medium just in case. I'm going to be smart. Okay, so they shoot at me at medium. And I'm not going to shoot back. Oh my god. 8 minus 2 because of my copper plating, so 6.
Nice. Yeah, good.
All right. Yeah, definitely. Like, there's nothing wrong with questions. In fact, the more questions, the better. That is the whole point. I mean, I know a lot of you have already seen how to actually play the game at this point in time. All right, ready?
Oh no. I wish I could inspiring speech myself.
Yeah. I will heal you for 10. I will go ahead and heal you for 10. So, creatures of the deep have Barnacle Wound, which once per round, that's incorrect. Once per engagement, you may repair 10 HP of another ship in the engagement. So, I basically, since we're sailing alongside each other, I summon forth the barnacles from the depths, and they come up and plug the holes of the ship. That's how you do healing in a ship game.
Needed it badly, because this is not going well.
Okay, so I feel like I'm having a serious deja vu. I think we are going to try and make a version available in either Tabletopia or Tabletop Simulator. This is completely playable, as you can see. We just need to improve some assets and a few things. So I'm going to make them shoot at you.
Oh no.
They blocked 2 of them.
Yeah.
So you lose 1.
Yeah. And they hit me for 3.
Yeah.
All right.
They have 6. I need to see it so I can... Oh, it's not good. Okay, alright. So now I'm going to maneuver. Alright.
1.
Wait. No, I thought that was mine. Okay, I'm going to stay at medium. Okay, and they're going to shoot me. So I take 3 and 1. Yeah, Kilowatts, have you used Tabletopia before? Alright, Micah, your turn.
I can't win maneuver.
I wish I could help you with something.
Yeah.
You ever done Tabletop Simulator or something similar? Alright, Micah. Maybe we... Oh, you're sticking with it. Okay,
2,
love
4,
it.
6, 7. Ugh.
Okay.
Alright. You're up.
Yeah.
2.
Alright, well, I don't have a choice, so I'm not shooting them. I would like to get my symbol. This was a cool strategy that is not being well executed.
They hit you for 6 minus 2, so 4.
Yeah.
And you block the chain, or do you not?
No, I don't.
No, you don't.
I don't. So
That's
they're
right.
slowly wearing me down. All right, you got it, Micah. You got it.
If I don't win here, I may run away.
Sink them?
Or sink them, yeah.
Yeah, just like full on blast them. Yeah, go ahead. Ready? Yeah, just waste them, dude.
It is time. Well, now you'll get to see my cannon power at medium.
Yeah, how many you got? Ooh,
14.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
My cannonballs. Alright. So I think I might have done it. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15 damage to them.
Bam.
But I will take
2.
I will take 6.
6, yeah.
I'm hurting.
Okay.
Look, they had some wily old salts on there, maneuvering them around, like giving it all they had.
Yeah.
All right. So now we will split plunder.
Yeah, let's see what we get. Let's see what we get. Oh, maybe you could use that. Since you're so slow.
Yeah, without a navigator, it is a little rough. There's your long 9.
Yeah, I'll take the long 9. Why don't you do the I feel bad. It was your turn.
Don't feel bad. It's fine.
Yeah, you should take the cane just to get that repairs at sea as well, and the stumping.
That one whole point up.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, no, it's all good. You know, that's what happens. You know, you try.
All right, and who you did it, right? Yeah, you.
Yeah, I engaged.
Okay, so that was round 4. So now, no, I think that was round 5. I don't think we incremented after our port visit correctly.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, so we're on 6 now. Yeah, you know, it's the only game I've ever like wanted to play so badly that I would accept the failings of the digital experience. I play a ton of this because it's the best way to play with Micah. So but the only other game that I've really wanted to play so badly that I couldn't wait for a physical playthrough was Root. And that was only after I learned it and wanted to play it. And my brother lived in Korea, so we didn't have a choice. So still lives in Korea. But it is not the same. I mean, you just rolled how many dice? 14?
Yep.
And you just hit R button the same way.
Oh, no.
Whether it's 14 or 2. Whereas 14 in your hand, you can barely hold them.
Awesome.
You can barely hold those bad boys. You're thinking about like a dice cup at that point in time. All right, what do you guys want us to do? We can keep on playing. We can fast forward. We can act like we're not so terrible, and I can upgrade my ship, and we could fight a pirate lord, or we can keep slogging through. I say slogging through. We've just made some really poor choices.
Some bad rolls too,
Oh,
occasionally.
you know what? Let's pull up one of the topics. So we talked about art and lore a little bit. We talked about the map. We talked about is there anything art and lore related that you want us to talk about before we move on to our next topic, which is mechanics and strats?
It's a good topic.
Yeah. We gotta wait the 7 seconds. And I keep looking over here because this is where my monitor is. So sorry, I'll try and look back over here. Ooh, Micah, what was the first piece of art you drew specifically for the game? Towns, you can know too much, I think. There's there's like a curve of knowledge, and there's like an amount that you know enough that you think you know, and it's like the most dangerous amount. I feel like I'm perpetually in that stage. I'm constantly trying to do atypical things to get some crazy edge, and so that way when it works out, it feels incredible. But Micah, do you remember the first piece of art? I can remember a really early piece of art. We actually had someone else who drew...
Yeah, we were looking through potential styles in the very beginning. No, but
yeah.
I know what it was, and I'm looking for it, and I'm gonna give it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it to Nick so that he can throw it up.
I will put it up. I was actually about to start looking through the old drive.
I know exactly what it is. Probably. I
wonder if I can search, but it wouldn't be for me, it wouldn't be. It would be on my personal drive, which will be impossible to find anything.
Right.
Red Tides. No. Let's just search here. Yeah, we when we were looking to figure out the art style, we tried a number of different things, and at one point in time, we actually had someone else who we were thinking about maybe having them do the art. Vastly different art style. Let's sort by last modified and go all the way to the end. It may have been the ship, actually, Micah. I think it was a ship.
I think it was the Buccaneer I drew.
Okay. Well, why don't you look for that, and I'll answer this other stuff over here. Oh, cool. Micah showing off concept art. I mean, you've got.
That's right. You get the inside track if you're hanging around in person. You know.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we were talking about that the other day because we have like people we know and stuff like that in the game. Some of them were like, you know, I mean, they were adults when you drew them, but they're like real adults now with like, you know, probably mortgages. Or...
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I don't know if you saw it, but we actually put together kind of like a little thing to talk about how the art style developed. And I think the closest thing I can kind of describe it as is what you think, what you imagine old maps and illustrations look like. And I say what you think because I was like, yeah, it needs to look more like old maps and how illustrations used to look. And then Micah would draw it and it'd be like, oh man, I don't like that. And I wasn't being like, Micah, I don't like you. But then I'd look at the maps and be like, oh man, people didn't always make stuff that appeals to the modern sense back then.
Right.
You still looking, Micah?
I think I got it.
What tools do you use, Micah, to do your craft?
So I start a lot of stuff on pen and paper, just working from life or reference in a sketchbook. And then I will either photograph that or scan that in, and then create the digital versions on my iPad or my Cintiq. I've got a little Wacom Cintiq tablet as well for my desktop. And so most of the time I'm working in either Procreate or Fresco to create like vectored versions of stuff. And like creating all the polish there and then putting it out finally in Adobe with whatever format we're looking to do. A lot of InDesign work. Sometimes pushing out stuff through Illustrator as well. But
very cool.
All right.
How have your tools changed since we first started as an artist?
I've gotten way better at using a lot of the digital stuff. But I haven't done a ton of different processes, I guess. I kind of hit what I wanted to do in the way I wanted to do it, and it's been working really well. So I haven't really iterated processes too much.
Yeah.
Is this not saving? What is this doing?
So Lauren is asking about the official launch trailer, how it came about. So we had an idea of what we wanted, but we didn't know really where to start. So we work with and are a part of a community called Launch Boom, who just has so many people that have done a lot of things. And a couple, there are people who do this work professionally, full time, for a living, and some of the prices are crazy. $10,000 or $15,000 for a minute and a half video, and I'm sure you could get way crazier than that, right? Like if you start going movie quality, or even I guess. But that our funding goal was $15,000, so that would have been a bit difficult. So we just started asking around, and we actually found someone who has a lot of experience creating 3D you know, I guess assets for someone else who makes the videos for a lot of money. And they were actually interested in breaking out and doing their own thing. And so we started talking to them, and more or less they have like a vision for what it's called Meeple Media Works, and it's a guy named Vasanth, and he's trying to build a career out of this kind of work. And it was a great partnership because, you know, we were his first client effectively. And so he kind of took a chance on us. We took a chance on him. You know, the process itself, you know, he had kind of we wrote a script, and then we did, you know, storyboards kind of for that with what we thought the visuals would be like. And then he did a rough version of it. We made some changes, kind of discovered that we have a side of us that I think like directors, like I mean, I've never been in that kind of role before. Have you done anything like that before, Micah, where you kind of found yourself as like a director?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I've done,
okay.
I've done some art directing, for sure. Nothing with film like
Yeah,
that. Or
yeah.
3D.
I guess that's what I meant. Was like, you know, film
Yeah.
director.
Oh, right. Sorry. Yeah.
But yeah, so I think it was interesting. We kind of had an interest in it turns out we had like a vision of what we wanted, so we worked through it, and then he did like a nearly a final render, and that's when we really like tightened up the timings. It was like, all right, whenever this sound hits here, when this word hits here, and we always wanted like more explosions and dice at the end. I think we were 90% happy, but man, if we could have gotten, just more explosions and more dice and just total chaos at the end, it would have been slightly better. But yeah, it was an iteration. We worked on it. The voice acting part, the guy who voice acted it has an incredible voice, and he normally does darker stuff. Very, we actually weren't sure if it would work well, and he tested for us, and it actually was awesome. Like, just really loved it. I think the voice work, some of the like coolest stuff from my perspective. I think he did a really phenomenal job with it. However, after everything was set, we set it up. He records, he gets paid, everything's good, and he says new Carribea, and I was like. So luckily he was fine with re-recording, and that's part of the time when we did like the research around like how would you say Carribea, like the Carribea, new Carribea, and so Pirates of the Caribbean made Caribea a more popular way for a lot of people to say it. But yeah, so it's a more typical way, I guess, in England to say it is Caribbean, whereas Caribbean, but then Pirates of the Caribbean made it more popular over here. So it's a mess. There's no right or wrong way, but we had said New Caribbean for forever, and so we had them re-record it. But yeah, really cool process. Meeple Media Works, it's been really great for them. In fact, I think they now have 3 more projects. So we were there first, and people saw our project and literally reached out to us and were like,
yeah.
Where did you get this done? I personally think I could keep working on this kind of stuff for a long time. I still know some stuff I would improve, but ultimately happy with it. The thing I've learned about this process overall is there's always more stuff you can do.
Absolutely. I sent you the Buccaneer, by the way.
Ooh, okay. Is it in?
It's in Discord.
Okay, cool. I'm.
Yeah. Goat Sidekick. We actually did. We considered that, and just for some reason, I guess, either tabled it and didn't circle back. But we actually did think about that, like offering a tier either to be a specialist or a pirate lord. So that's a really good point, and that may be something we do in the future, because I think it's a really cool. Oh, now I get to see my iteration 1 12 years ago. I was like, it's gonna be.
still pretty cool. Like it's more cartoony and but action oriented.
It
Yeah.
was fun.
Yeah, I mean you can see all the sketch marks and even like the form stuff that you built on top of it. So um, yeah, definitely different. Um, yeah, so
Yeah, and
there it is.
that was a decision. Like, do we want to be really stylized and cartoony? Like a lot of games do that.
Yeah,
A ton of games do that. Like really, really Saturday morning cartoony or anime vibes, or and for us, it just didn't feel like what the vision for the game was,
yeah.
and so that's how we kept, and I think I ended up, um, uh, I went down to the Civil War um, park in Vicksburg, and one of the original Civil War ironclads is actually there, the Cairo in Vicksburg, and you can go and you can see it in person. Um, and y'all are getting some insider information here. And so, I remember I sat out at the park and I drew the Cairo from different angles. It's not fully intact, as you can imagine. There's a lot of stuff missing, but it was kind of that click in my head that ended up being like, I can look at real things from history throughout
Mm,
these various periods
mm-hmm.
and really get the grit of it. Like Towns just said, like the grittiness, the reality of it kind of portrayed more the feeling that we wanted to go for. And if you look carefully, Black Smoke's uh, ship is actually built from the pieces of the Cairo from that sketch. And so there's all kinds of like actual history built in to the game and how we use it. Some of the stuff directly is taken from sailing ships at sea, ones in harbor. But yeah, and it's hard to tell in Tabletopia, but
Yeah,
that's look.
Tabletopia. It's not my
Yeah, you can't
favorite.
really tell, but it's looking down the side of that ironclad, and it was perfect too because it's like, oh yeah, the fire belly, they're strapping sheets of metal to their ships, they're experimenting with technology and engines, and so like that ironclad period in the Civil War felt pretty cool to like emulate some of that. But yeah.
Yeah. So we're
All
we're
right.
yeah, we're pretty far over what we're gonna do, which
Mhm.
totally fine with. Thanks for all the 7 of you who've stuck around. Really appreciate it. There's a couple more questions. Use default Procreate brushes or any that you've made or purchased from Towns.
Yeah, so mostly default. There's some uh, kind of sketchy ones that I'll use, like charcoaly looking brushes. I will tell you one of the most interesting bits, and I haven't really pushed into Procreate to see if it can do it on this side or not, but one of the was okay. So two benefits to Adobe Fresco, and it's expensive, like having a subscription every month to use the programs. It's a little bit of a bummer, but Fresco has a vector brush, and so you can work directly with vectored images. And so that's really helpful to have the base Fresco file as a vector drawing, because then it becomes a bit more flexible as a piece of media, whether we want to put it on a card or blow it up and put it on a poster, or, like, the pixels really do matter in the size of the artwork that you're making, depending on what it's going to get printed on and how it's going to look. And so Fresco's vector brush lets me create an image on an artboard that I could then scale infinitely up or down. And so that's a huge thing. And I don't think Procreate can do that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think they have a vector capability. I think it's all pixel. So that's one big benefit. Number two, Fresco is seamlessly integrated into the rest of the Adobe suite. So a lot of times what I'm doing is uh, I'm taking the drawing from my iPad, and I can press one button and it will send it to my desktop computer. And so it opens it up in Illustrator. So then I can take that art and imagery and then put it into whatever format it's going to be for the actual printed card. So that's a big help. So it's like one less step in the process of like getting it in the pipeline from one place to the other. So I've kind of preferred using Fresco for that reason. But yeah, great question.
And I use paint.net. You should check it out. It's real pro. It's free.
Nick's done some cool
source.
stuff in paint.net.
It does crack me up. Just it's like, oh, there's so many cool things you can do and all these tools that Micah has, and I'm like, bro, why don't you just press this button and just delete that? And then he's like, no, I've got to do these. I understand the power of it, but I like my simple tools. Paint.net.
Yeah.
Paint.net. There was something else that was around for a long time, but it's fast, it's free. I only need to get stuff looking like 20% good, and then Micah has to do all the work afterwards. So that's that's it. We're coming up on like 3 hours, unless you consider the 15 minutes we spent trying to get sound working. I still don't know what the problem is, but we got it fixed. Any final questions? This won't be the last time, but we're coming up on like almost 24 hours. No, 36 hours remaining, something crazy like that. So just really wanted to take the time and kind of answer some of these questions, go over some art and lore stuff. We go over our tools, our process, thinking, all those different things. And I know Towns in the past, you've had some interest in some like behind the scenes stuff. So maybe we'll do like a stream just about, hey, how do we do that kind of stuff? I'll show some spreadsheets.
Dude, we would not be where we are without the spreadsheets.
Love the spreadsheets.
They are vital.
Yeah.
We really appreciate y'all hanging out. We appreciate the support and just the time. Like, it's been pretty incredible to spend so much time making a thing that we really love and getting it to share that with people that actually like it too. It's kind of surreal. So really grateful.
Yeah. Well, thanks for hanging out with us late onto a Tuesday night. And we'll see you around. We'll be doing more stuff. But next day or two, we're just gonna be focused on trying to get this thing done. Awesome.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Yeah.
Spread the word. 28 hours and counting.
Absolutely. Yeah. Much love to all y'all as well. And good night, everybody.
Night, everybody. Take care.